beautiful Wednesday evening in Keene, New Hampshire. It's time for New England Collegiate Baseball League action here from Alumni Field as the North Adams SteepleCats are in town to take on the Keene SwampBats. Good afternoon and evening, everybody. I'm Andrew Hilsman alongside Luke Carter. Luke, the Keene SwampBats and the SteepleCats have had two very different starts to their 2025. The SteepleCats only playing their fourth game of the year. They're 1-2. They've had 3 rainouts, one part of a doubleheader. Keene, the best record in the league, and an undefeated home streak and an undefeated streak. They've won 4 in a row, trying to make it 5 tonight.
Yeah, the SteepleCats, they have been led by their pitching so far this season. Over the past 2 games, only giving up a combined 5 runs. That offense is still waiting to click, and they're going to run into a very tough test tonight, playing the hottest team in the league. That is great at defending their home field in their first road game of the season, because the SteepleCats had 3 rainouts, I should say, that canceled their first 3 road games. So a really big test, and we're going to see what the SteepleCats team is made of tonight.
All right, well, they're bringing out the lineups, and it's almost time for the national anthem. We'll be back in about 2 minutes for the start of SteepleCats and SwampBats here from Keene, New Hampshire. This is the New England League on a beautiful Wednesday night on the East Coast.
And we're going to be standing up here on the grass, but at the start
please rise for the singing of our national anthem. This evening, we performed by the Keene Pops Choir.
Well, the national anthem has been performed, and now we're almost ready for baseball. But before we get started, we'll send it down to Ryan Fitzpatrick for the first time tonight. Ryan?
Well, Andrew, one of the cooler parts about the NECBL is playing against your former or current college teammates. on the mound today for the SwampBats is Nicholas Pavia, who just finished his time up with the Franklin Pierce Ravens over in the Division II Super Regionals. And 4 of his teammates from Franklin Pierce are on over in the other dugout with the SteepleCats. And I got a chance to talk to one of them in Tommy Sullivan, who actually had a chance to relieve Pavia back in college. He said there is definitely extra fire under you when you're playing against your former college teammates in summer ball. You want to go out and impress, but not only impress, but you want to make them proud to be your teammates. So it'll be interesting to see if Nicholas Pavia has that extra spark in him tonight.
Well, like Ryan said, it's Nicholas Pavia, the starter this evening, who started the season opener for the Keene SwampBats in the NECBL opening night last week against Danbury. So his second start of the year, he got hit around a little bit in the first inning, but tonight in front of the home fans, it's Reading with Ribby night, the second of the year, and a very large crowd on hand to support the SwampBats here tonight.
And this North Adams team going up against Pavia tonight, as you mentioned, he was hit around a little in the start of the season. This SteepleCats team has not scored a run in the first 3 innings of a game in their first 3 games. So you have a pitcher coming off an outing in which he struggled. If you're North Adams, you want to capitalize on that. Don't let him get comfortable. Don't let him get into a groove. Try and get some runners on early to get in his head and get him back in that way he was in that first outing.
And Pavia, his season looks like as follows. He, like I said, struggled a little bit, pitched 3 innings against Danbury, allowed 8 hits, 9 runs, 4 of which were earned for a 12.0 ERA. However, the strikeout numbers at Franklin Pierce, the D2 college just near here, are pretty astounding. 5.81 ERA in 18 appearances, almost 80 innings pitched. He walked 43 and struck out 112.
And for the SteepleCats lineup tonight, you got 2 guys making their season debuts in the NECBL. Nelvi Lopez out of Stetson, along with Alex Mendez making his first start of the season, playing second base. So you got a whole new middle infield duo for the SteepleCats tonight. They're looking to make an impact.
Well, the SteepleCats batting lineup looks like this. Nelfi Lopez leads off, and he's playing shortstop. Eli Grease-Smith, the center fielder, hitting second. Billy Howard, the DH, wearing number 23 in third, rounding out in that cleanup spot is Gabe Natividad at third. Corey Robinson, the left fielder, batting fifth. Alex Mendez, one of the newcomers, like you said, playing second base, batting sixth. And then it's Mark Henshin, Quinn Ahern, and Matt Lucier, the first baseman, catcher, and right fielder to round it out. And the battery for the SwampBats, like I said, Nick Pavia, and then the Indiana man, TJ Schuyler, as he will send it down to Dylan Cup at shortstop. And we are almost ready to get underway. Your umpires tonight, Alan Liberdoni is behind the plate calling balls and strikes. At third base is Sam Finn, and at first base is J.C. Fernandez. And at a packed out Alumni field, we're almost ready for NECBL baseball. Here from Keene, New Hampshire. The fans are in their seats. And home plate umpire Alan Liberdoni says, everyone's favorite words, he says, play ball. And that's what we'll do. As the first pitch from Pavia is a swing and a foul off to the left. For strike one. You mentioned that North Adams has kind of taken a little bit to get going. It's been sort of the same in recent games for Keene as well. You go back, obviously, last night was a 1-0 pitcher's duel and a defensive showing between Keene and the Newport Goals, as this one's tied to the left side. Romano and Cup after it, and Cup calls off Romano to make the first play and the first out of the game.
Excellent communication shown off between the second and third baseman of Keene right there. That's a tough play. It looks routine, but that's the trust you have in your guys and the chemistry you build as you spend every day together here in the NECBL.
Well, this will be now Eli Grease-Smith, the center fielder, hitting .250 on the year. 2 for 8 in the 2 games he's played. No RBIs, and he struck out 4 times. As the first deal from Pavia, an off-speed pitch for strike one.
Grease-Smith had a tough opening night against Ocean State, but he really found his groove against Danbury. He was able to get 2 hits in that game, both of which were hard ground balls up the middle.
The 0-1, called strike 2. As the senior from Arkansas Pine Bluff is in a pitcher's count early. It's 0-2. They've already 1 away. Pavia kicks and deals. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And down swinging was the first SteepleCat of the day.
And an efficient start from Pavia here in this one. He is just attacking the zone. He doesn't want to mess around or dance with these SteepleCats hitters. He wants to set the tone early and really develop that strike zone and show these SteepleCats hitters what he's going to be throwing at them all day, saying, hey, I just think you're not going to be able to hit this stuff.
Pavia only had 2 strikeouts in his season opening start against Danbury. So there's a strike on the outside half of the plate. 0-1. Like you said, efficiency from Pavia early in this one. Pavia, high 80s, low 90s type of guy. The strikeout pitch to Grease Smith came in at 92. The 0-1 from Pavia to Howard. He's 1 for 6 on the year. The DH takes strike 2. Only 6 pitches thrown thus far from Nick Pavia. The 0-2. Swinging a foul. Didn't commit to it, but got bat on ball and stays alive.
Yeah, and Billy Howard, that 1 for 6 doesn't sound the greatest, but he has done a lot of good things for the SteepleCats team. He has 2 sack flies on the season to his name. So when runners are on base, he gets the job done. Hence why manager Gladu has put him in the 3-hole tonight compared to the 9-hole he's been hitting most of the season.
As Howard takes the ball on the outside part of the plate. Keene, the best record in the New England League in the young season of 2025. They're 4-1. There's 2 teams that are at 4-2 in Bristol and Mystic, as a swing and a miss in the dirt, and Skyler will toss it down to 2 foot first, and that retires the side in short order. 2 strikeouts from Nick Pavia set the SwampBats up. We're through a half inning, and it's 0-0 here from Keene, New Hampshire. Due up 1-2-3 O'Brien, Harry, and Cup on the other side of this break. It's the NECBL from Keene, New Hampshire.
One more disappointment added to the ones you left behind.
There he goes, on a second, got it.
One that's gone from it. 2-run shot for the lead. This young man has payoff is crushed. Lofty beams, loving schemes, tight slam. But very neat.
I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the formula and chemistry. Your memories spark to motivate and make the industry shake. We broken bars in the breaks. I'm talking one chance at best, yes. Painting pictures for the culture, keep the brushes fresh. Flip the cover, work the drummer, passion never rests. Freedom is a teacher under pressure, now we blessed. Yeah, it's one all, one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
We're through a half inning, and it's 0-0 in the bottom of the first. Michael O'Brien, Jack Herring, and Dylan Cup, the first 3 hitters of the day for the Keene SwampBats. And the pitcher that they'll face in the North Adams SteepleCats is Johnny Ruggiero. What do we know about him, Luke?
Yeah, Ruggiero made his first appearance of the season in relief against Ocean State on opening night. He threw just 21 pitches and gave up a double and single and had 1 earned run against him, which nets him a 9 ERA currently, which is a little fake when you look at it. But he was able to strike out 1, and he's done a good job of throwing strikes. He threw 9 strikes to only 5 balls in that appearance. So for Ruggiero, it's about commanding the strike zone and commanding his pitch. He comes at you with a 3-pitch pitch. He likes his curveball, his 4-seam fastball, and his slider. He uses that 4-seam more than anything else.
The defensive alignment looks like this. The outfield, Robinson, Grease Smith, and Lucier. Lopez, the shortstop, making his first start with his middle infield counterpart in Mendez. Natividad at third, Henshin at first. Ahern behind the plate, and the pitcher, Ruggiero.
Interested to see Quinn Ahern tonight behind the dish. In his first game taking on Danbury, they were able to steal 4 bases on him in that one. Had a few inaccurate throws, so see if he can bounce back when the Keene SwampBats get runners on and start running.
And this is what Sean McKenna's putting out. The left fielder, Michael O'Brien, will lead the SwampBats off. Jack Herring DHing as he did yesterday. He drove in the winning run against Newport. Dylan Cup, Chandler Tupou, the first baseman, Nick Romano hits in the 5 slot. Marshall Lipsy, then Ripken Reese, TJ Schuyler the catcher, and then the speedy center fielder Gabe Pitts rounds it off for the SwampBats. Here's the first offering of the day from Ruggiero, and it's chopped towards the right side, picked up by Henshin, and a toss over to first. And O'Brien can't beat it out. 1 pitch, 1 out.
really relieving as a pitcher when you get that one pitch, one out to start the game, especially in front of this huge crowd here tonight at Keene, making your first start on the road of the season. That just lets you breathe a sigh of relief. It takes some weight off your shoulders.
So efficiency, the name of the game, like it was last night in the battle between the two teams with the most Fay Vincent Senior Cups in NECBL history. Newport has 8 to their name, Keene with 5. Keene, the triumphant team last night. As Jack Herring, the designated hitter from East Carolina, looks at ball one above. Really phenomenal spring. The home run numbers not jumping off the page, but he is one of the better swings and more powerful swings on this team. 5 home runs, 28 RBIs. And of course, that game-winning RBI in a pitcher's duel where it just felt like whichever team, you knew it was going to be one of those 1-run, 2-run games at that point in the day.
And for Ruggiero, last year in the NECBL, he was with Bristol. He was purely a reliever, never started a game, but had a 2.08 ERA in 9 appearances.
This series is 56-51 in favor of the SwampBats. It was a sweep in the season series last year, but now that North Adams is in the North Division, as the NECBL has moved back to a 2-division format, that means we'll see each other 6 times instead of the 3, I believe. Maybe it's 4. As a 2-1. High makes it 3-1. But 7 teams in the South Division, 6 in the North. In a 13-team league, that is the New England League. It's a pretty good setup. I'm a fan of the 2 divisions. I like it.
I do too. I think it's the best way to go for the format of the league.
3-1 from Ruggiero, and the delivery. Outside the first walk drawn of the day for the SwampBats. It took them, by my count, until the 8th inning to actually draw a walk. No, excuse me, the 4th inning. But for the Gulls to draw a walk last night, it did take until the 8th. So it was very much accurate pitching last night for both of those teams in a thriller that we had here. So Herring will take his lead at first. Herring on the season has played 2 games, has that 1 RBI. Hasn't attempted to steal a base, but he's got a decent-sized lead over there at first, with Henshin holding him on. The first pitch to Dylan Cupp is inside, and he dodges out of the way.
Yeah, and the walk was a little bit of a problem for North Adams in their win against Vermont in their last outing. 7 walks on the day from the pitching staff as a whole.
Cupp played 2025 at Mississippi State. He's currently in the portal. And here's the 1-0 towards Cupp. He looks at it at chin level. Is it to 2-0?
Ruggiero really going all in with that fastball so far. Has not gone to that curveball or slider to start this one. Mainly just throwing that. He's trying to find the command with it before he goes to the other stuff.
Not a guy who throws the hardest, that one at 86. And here's the 2-0. Inside again. And it imagine that Cupp will have the red light here. Another one at 86. And a great crowd on hand for the second reading with Ribby Night. It's just great when you come to the ballpark. You see happy families. You see kids having fun, getting their autographs from these college players. Always brings a smile. And this is one of the bigger crowds of the year. The 3-0 towards Cupp. And he takes just off the inside part of the plate for a 4-pitch walk. Now 2 on for the SwampBats with only 1 away. And that brings up the first baseman, Chandler Tupou.
8 of the last 9 pitches for Ruggiero, all for balls. Wondering if we're going to see a little mound meeting just to try and talk things over with him, get things in his head. Typically, pitching coach Brian Rosario likes to go out there after a series of multiple balls thrown in a row, but they're going to leave Johnny out there, believing in his abilities to bounce back here against Tupou.
So 2 runners on, the first man in scoring position for the Bats tonight. Tupou with 4 RBI on the young season. Again, the 6th game for Keene. This is only the 4th game for the SteepleCats of North Adams. Chandler Tupou, a product of Charleston Southern University. Lefty with great discipline at the plate. A swing and put one high into the evening sky. This one will stay in the infield, and it'll be an infield fly. And the batter's out. Everybody stays where they are.
It's a big out to get for Ruggiero. Weak contact induced into the air, and now you can breathe a sigh of relief knowing you just need one more out instead of two and thinking too much about it. Now you can really focus in on this matchup with Romano.
So the infield fly rule is put into effect. That's the first one that we've seen this year. So 2 away. And Romano, 158 on the year. The average isn't where he wants it to be, but he just needs one in play with the speedy Herring at second. One goes through the gap either side. Romano, a switch hitter, so has the ability to go both sides.
And Ruggiero with 2 walks here in this first inning. This year at Maryville College, he only allowed 10 walks in 12 innings pitched. So not something that typical for him.
Breaking ball, a slow bouncer in the infield, backhanded by Lopez over to first, and pulls his first baseman off the bag as Herring heads for home plate at the plate. They got him. Herring gunned down at the plate, and the SteepleCats escape unscathed as it's 0-0 as we're done with one. What a play.
Mark Henshin making the throw.
That was a good throw. We'll come back for the top of the second. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the SteepleCats when we come back here from Keene, New Hampshire.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, goodiest car in the parking lot is a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Registration 5187614. Once again, Jeep Grand Cherokee 5187614. More of that can stop by Swamp Shop to pick up your prize. Free car wash, courtesy of Nick Car Wash. Thanks to Nick Car Wash for keeping cars and keys clean. And lucky ticket, ladies and gentlemen, for SwampBats folding camp chairs and Fraser Center, located in Swampy just south of Keene. Family owned and operated for 75 years.
So already some action in the first inning. It was pretty efficient for Pavia and co. in the top of the first. And then 2 runners on as Herring got gunned down at home off of a great throw from Mark Henshin, the first baseman, to Quinn Ahern behind the plate. So it's nonetheless a 0-0 game. We're through 1 here in Keene, New Hampshire. Interesting to say the least in that first inning.
And it's funny how baseball finds a way to always repeat itself. That's the 3rd straight game in which the SteepleCats have thrown out a runner at home to end the first inning. It was Corey Robinson throwing out a runner on a sac fly attempt 2 games ago at Danbury, and then it was a bunt play, a squeeze play that they attempted that AJ Paredes threw a flip home against Vermont to get it out at home. So 3 games in a row, very odd, an anomaly to say the least. But for North Adams, it's a little boost of momentum as they hand it over to Gabe Natividad.
Natividad, the right-handed cleanup hitter, looks at an off-speed pitch from Pavia down and away. Natividad, a product of Winthrop, the Eagles, hails originally from Nevada. Defensive Player of the Year in high school. This one's laced out to left field. Back on it is Pitts at the wall. He'll jump, and it's over the wall for a home run. A 1-0 game early in this one as the SteepleCats are on the board. A solo shot for Gabe Natividad here in the top of the second. Cats lead 1-0.
And that's got to be such a great feeling for not just Natividad, but this whole SteepleCats team has the first team home run on the season. And it's to that place in left center where at Joe Wolf Field, that ball is not leaving. That is a comfortable fly out about 5-10 feet in front of the wall, but here it leaves.
There's the look at it, and a great hop, and maybe just a little late on it was Pitts. He made a good effort. That one came off the bat at 91 miles an hour and left 343 feet to left center. So a 1-0 game early in this one. That's the first home run of the season for North Adams as a team. Natividad is the one to record it. This is Corey Robinson as he swings through a fastball.
Corey Robinson, he loves that left center gap. He hit a ball 375 feet at Joe Wolf Field against Danbury that held up at the warning track. If he does that here, it's out by a few feet.
Strike two, the low half of the plate. Danbury, a park that doesn't have deep dimensions, but the walls are pretty high, so you gotta effectively have it going a far way. 1-2. Grounder that goes foul. Hits at Joe Wolf Field. Pretty standard when it comes to dimensions. There's some interesting ones in the league, but it gives it character, I say. Pavia looking to respond. First batter after the leadoff homer here in the second. It's the 1-2. Taken high, evens it up 2-2.
And Natividad, not typically a big power bat. Only 4 home runs this year at Winthrop. He's more of a contact, get on base, steal some bases type of guy. But you'd love to see that for North Adam getting that offensive production on the home run.
Here's Pavia with a 2-2. Swinging a foul back, and we'll do it again as it goes out of play. Pavia, a guy who in 2024 had a phenomenal year, 5-3 with a sub-3 ERA, came in at 2.82 and 68 strikeouts in 54 1/3 innings pitched. He was the rookie pitcher of the year in the Northeast 10 Conference. And the 2-2 on its way. Breaking ball, and that goes foul to the left side.
For North Adams, that's the earliest run they've scored in the game this season. The boost of confidence that they're going to get from that here tonight. I expect these bats to warm up. It has been a cold, cold start to the season, but you can feel these guys, the energy is feeling a little different tonight.
2-2 from Pavia. And a foul tip again, stayed alive.
How Robinson even managed to get a piece of that, I am not sure. It's a big chase there, just was able to get it with the end of the bat.
Pavia from the stretch, shakes off his pitcher Skyler, gets the sign and comes set again. Here's the third 2-2. Just high, runs it full.
The SteepleCats team is a very disciplined team at the plate. They like to draw a lot of walks. They were able to draw 5 walks and 4 hit by pitches against Vermont.
It's the 3-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Pavia gets himself out of a full count. And that's going to bring up the second baseman, Alex Mendez.
And Pavia right there just said, I'm going to throw this faster than you can catch up with it. Great level vertically. Tough pitch to hit. Unable to catch up with it with Robinson.
Speed pitch, maybe he was sitting fastball. And got him out in front. So this is Alex Mendez, the second baseman, playing in his first game for the SteepleCats here in 2025. First pitch to him is low.
Mendez out of Mount St. Mary's University, and this is a huge bat to get in the lineup for North Adams as he hit 364 at the Mount this past season.
1-0 from Pavia. Just
not very much power to Mendez games, no home runs nor triples this season, but he is an on-base machine, getting on at a rate of 5.04 this past season.
2-0 is center both batter and pitcher. Offering is there over the plate for a strike. Pavia now giving up 2 home runs this year. This spring he gave up 5 in the 79 innings he pitched. And works from the stretch again, 2-1, strike 2. Trying to find his groove again after the leadoff homer to put the SteepleCats up by 1 here in the top of the second. And he delivers the 2-2. Foul tip back to the chest plate of TJ Skyler.
And a fun note on Mendez, I love when baseball players have weird, quirky niches. He was the Illinois state champion in axe throw. Axe throw.
They have high school competitions for that?
I'm not sure if it's through, yes, New Trier High School, axe throwing champion.
In Naperville, sure. Didn't know they had an axe throwing team as he
throws his axe
I tried to make an axe pun. I wasn't fast enough to do it. We'll say he strikes out. That's Pavia's 4th on the day, and there's 2 away in the top of the second. If I spent too long on that, Luke, it was just going to go worse and worse for me. So I'll come up with one. It'll be inevitably not funny, but that's the way it is. This is the first baseman, Mark Henshin, who threw out Jack Herring in the bottom of the first. He looks at a first pitch strike.
Yeah, it was a really heads-up play by Henshin, manning the bag at first base. Went down to his stomach to pick up that ball and fired an accurate throw home.
Well, they called it an error on the shortstop Lopez. As the throw pulled Henshin way off the bag. Not sure if it'll matter, as it's an out nonetheless, and the SteepleCats have the lead. Swing and a strike 2. Bobby already up to 30 pitches for the first 2 innings. One-two count. Fouled back. 2 strike counts. Good plate approach from the SteepleCats thus far. Especially in this second inning where Robinson fouled off 2 or 3 pitches at 2 and 2, even the 3 and 2. Here's the 1-2. Called strike 3. Skyler lets it flip out of his glove, but will run and toss it to Tupou for the 3rd out of the inning. However, the SteepleCats, they get 1 off that home run from Gabe Natividad. It's 1-0 as we're through 1.5. Keene, New Hampshire.
At M&T Bank, we believe in the power of together. Together, we can help your business grow. Together, we can move communities forward while giving back. Together, we can help your family spend more time on what matters most. And together, we can achieve more than ever before.
There's a shot of the big red barn in right field here at Alumni Field. It's 1-0 in favor of North Adams. As Keene got 2 on in the bottom of the first, but didn't amount to anything. As the same pitcher back out there is Jimmy Ruggiero Jr. for the SteepleCats as he's warming up. Andrew Hillsman here with Luke Carter. A really picture-perfect Wednesday afternoon in southern New Hampshire. Last night, Keene played the Newport Bulls, and that game was delayed in the middle of the 6th inning. Sat around for an hour and 10 minutes, and eventually got back going. It was decided by a game-winning single, or an eventual game-winning single from Jack Herring in the 8th. So, this is Marshall Lipsy. Another FAU product, hitting 167 on the young year. He's playing right field today for the Bats. As a righty-lefty matchup, comes in and hits him right on the hip, and he shakes it off like it's nothing.
And I was about to say, the key for Ruggiero Jr. here is to throw strikes, because every time he got contact, it was weak contact that for 2 outs and then what ended up being an error. So he's just got to throw strikes and trust his defense behind him. But the control issues proved to continue to plague him here early in this one.
Well, this is it was an 84-mile-an-hour pitch that ran inside and got Lipsy square on the side. So it looks like he's okay, which is good. And up to the plate is the switch hitter from Kent State University, originally from Elkridge, Maryland. It's Ripken Reese, who was with the SwampBats last year in 2024. Hit 260 with above an 850 OPS. So he looks at strike 1.
Good-looking fastball with firm command there from Ruggiero. Getting ahead in the count early, that's what he needs to do.
Not really a cloud in the sky, and the smell of burgers on the grill treating our olfactory senses here.
Not much you could ask for on a Wednesday night in June.
It doesn't get much better. No, it does not. Beautiful day, kids are having fun. It's a 2 count as Lipsy was early on that one. Sent it off to the right side, on the first base side. Lipsy standing at first. 0-2. Swinging a soft chopper, ranging over Mendez. Picks it up, a couple shuffles and a throw. Beats Ripken Reese, but Lipsy moves over to second, one away in the second.
Yeah, that play looked relatively routine, but where Mendez was positioned to start that, he was pretty much dead up the middle. He had to range over there a far ways and bobbled it. So good job to recover and make an accurate throw first.
Always make it look a little easier than it actually is. This brings up the Indiana University catcher, TJ Schuyler. Originally from Antioch, Illinois, committed to the Hoosiers and Jeff Mercer's team out of high school. I'm an Indiana guy myself, so watching TJ Schuyler get more playing time, especially last year as he was a freshman in 2024 when the Hoosiers had Brock Tibbetts and Jake Stadler. Tibbetts got hurt halfway through the year, so Schuyler had to become an everyday guy as he'll line out a really well-hit ball, but just finds the glove of Robinson out there and left, and Lipsy stays at second.
Yeah, Corey Robinson didn't read that one exactly correctly off the bat. He started coming in and then realized he had to take 2 steps back, but a good adjustment to make that play.
And this is now Gabe Pitts, the speedy center fielder, hitting .357. Leads the team in stolen bases. He's tied with O'Brien. Swinging a pop-up, ranging towards out of play on the right, but ranging back and keeping it is Mark Henshin for the third out of the inning. As the Bats strand another, it's still 1-0 after 2. We head to the top of the third. 1-0 in favor of the SteepleCats of North Adams.
Hey, SwampBats fans, it's time for everybody's fan favorite on-field game, Dizzy Bet. I'm gonna count down from 10 while you guys spin, and when I say go, you're gonna run all the way down to Rebby. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.5, 3, 2, 1, go! And they're off. Who's gonna get there first? Come out from the right side, and he makes it.
Just completed everyone's favorite, the Dizzy Bat Race, a tradition here after the second inning. Nick Pavia looking to bounce back after allowing that solo home run from Gabe Natividad in the top of the second, and they're in the top of the third. Keene couldn't scratch any off as they're through their order for the first time. It's 8, 9, and 1 due up for the SteepleCats in this third inning. Quinn Ahern, the catcher, will start us off. Then Matt Lucier, and then back to the top. It's Nelfi Lopez. The batters due up for the SteepleCats. Pavia bounced back well after giving up that leadoff homer. He struck out the side after that. 3 straight swinging strikeouts. And he's up to 5 on the day. Lots of strikeouts from him, but garners some hard contact as well. The first pitch to Quinn Ahern. Swinging a chopper. Good play by Romano. Steps up, has to laser it over to first, and he'll do so in time for out number 1.
It's going to bring up Matt Lucier. He's one of only 2 returners from last season North Adams SteepleCat roster. So he's serving as a veteran presence on this team, getting everyone comfortable with the area of North Adams as they move in to this new place, as they take on a new journey this summer.
Fastball over our way on the left side as Schuyler looks it off, and we'll get a fresh baseball. Fairfield man, Matt Lucier. The 0-1 from Pavia, high for ball one.
Lucier only had 28 at-bats last season with North Adams, hitting .214 in those set at-bats. As he gets more opportunities this season, trying to cement his place in SteepleCats history.
1-1. High and away, and a good eye. He wears 16 for the Ravens. Rather wears 33 for the Ravens, 16 here for the SwampBats. Throws a fastball at 90 miles an hour past the bat of Lucier. 1-0 game through the first 2 innings. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's number 6 on the day for Pavia.
Tough pitch to deal with there for Lucier. Really good sequencing by Pavia throughout that at-bat. No consistency from Matt Lucier. He was off balance throughout the whole thing.
Almost through 3 innings of Pavia's start. I don't think Keene would be at all disappointed if he only allows the 1 run and strikes out at this pace, strikes out as many as he's striking out at this pace right now.
Not just only 1 run, but also only 1 hit.
Yeah.
The home run also Biden today, only 91 miles per hour off the bat, so he hasn't really given up anything crazy hard either.
This one sliced foul to the right side. Ball and a strike. SteepleCats and the SwampBats played 3 times last year. Keene coming out on top in all 3 of those contests as Lopez tries to check his swing, but he goes around. Stetson batting helmet. Stetson Hatters. And here's the 1-2 from Pavia. Just off the plate.
Really good take in a 2-strike count there. That's a really close pitch. Most would offer at it. Now he gets a chance for something more in the zone here.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that is the 7th K of the day for Nick Pavia. SwampBats trail by 1 through 2.5. From Keene, New Hampshire, it's the New England League. We'll be right back. Go, bottom of the 3rd in the New England Collegiate Baseball League. Again, a 1-run game. And maybe just a little bit of an unlucky miss from Pavia on that 1 pitch. Otherwise, he has been fantastic, striking out 7 of his first 9 outs, all coming through strikeouts. The strikeout numbers, you look at that number he amassed this past year in college, and it's that number being 112, which jumps off the page at you, and that's why he's a big strikeout guy.
And for Ruggiero, I mean, he is the win. As it currently stands, the winning pitcher has not given up a run yet, but his stuff has not been anywhere near as dominant looking as Pavia's. But big moment for him in this game as he has to face the top of the lineup for the 2nd time in this one. They've already seen him once, and they did get to him, drawing some walks, but he was able to strand them all.
No hits yet. As O'Brien lays down the bunt, offers at it, and misses.
Third baseman Tavide was coming in for that bunt. Looked like he had pretty good positioning for that. So I think it was good that he was unable to make contact with that if you're O'Brien.
Brian, the lefty leadoff batter. Early on the second offering from Ruggiero.
A little bit of a different approach there.
Definitely. Yep. A big loop and swing from the left fielder who just committed today to the University of Arkansas in Little Rock, so congratulations to him. Here's the 0-2 from Ruggiero. It's in the dirt, ball 1. Played his most recent season at Mississippi State. Bulldogs changed coaching staff after the end of the 2025 season. Here's the 1-2. Swinging a drive, right field, back on it. And a sliding catch. Oh, they bobbled it. It's off. Play at the second base. They got him on the leg. An odd play, kind of going all over the place. Lipsy just tagged out on his thigh. Bounced in front of the right fielder, Grease Smith, or the center fielder, Grease Smith, and the right fielder, Lucier. But it'll go as just a simple out. A replay here as he hit it well, had some speed on it. Lucier moves over, and it goes in front of him. Grease Smith, a good play to send it straight to the shortstop Lopez, and he applies the tag for the out.
And if you're Pavia sitting in the Keene dugout right now, you're shaking your head at how is this guy putting up the better stat line when it comes to the scoreboard right now, as Ruggiero just having a lot of great things go his way with some great defense behind him.
So a single and then an 8-6 put out. As Herring already ahead with a 2-0 count. He reached base in the first with a walk. We're into the third. Foul chopper.
And in that first plate appearance, Herring didn't even really see a pitch to hit in that one. The one strike was a take that he let go by in a 3-0 count. So that was his first swing of the game.
Herring, a guy who can put a charge into one. He's got a smooth swing. Stands 5'10", 200 pounds. A switch hitter. Here's the 2-1. Swinging a drive out the other way, left field. Back on it is Robinson, and he makes the catch close to the fence for out number 2.
Yeah, Robinson had a little bit of trouble with a fly ball back in the second inning. This time he played it to absolute perfection, tracked it all the way, and made the play.
Good move by the left fielder, Corey Robinson. And this brings up Dylan Cupp. Coming into the game, hitting 182. That's still the same as he drew a walk in the first.
That was another 4-pitch walk to him.
Ruggiero is just letting the ball get put in play and letting his defense work behind him, which they've done to great effect. As the SwampBats only with 1 hit so far. Righty-righty matchup at the plate, 1-0. Cup just laid on it. High fastball. One of those pitches where you see it out of the hand and then it's right by it.
Almost has like some rising action, just the way that it looks, because it doesn't dip down at all like your other pitches coming from overhand motion.
Ball and a strike to Dylan Cupp, the shortstop. 1-0 game. We're swinging a pull foul. Got the barrel on it, left at 91. That gets into the corner fair, then maybe Cupp reaches second, but it's a foul ball, so it's a strike.
Yeah, just a little bit early on that one. If you're Ruggiero, I think you stay away from the breaking ball. He was all over that one.
Ruggiero comes set again. Takes a breath and looks in. All in 2 strikes to Cupp. Swinging a liner the other way. Throw from the shortstop, and in time, beating the throw is Cupp. A great play on the backhand by Lopez, but couldn't get it over to Henshin in time.
And he did go right back to the breaking ball. That one was hit not as hard as the one before, but nonetheless able to make good enough contact to get a single there. So Ruggiero gave him the same pitch 2 times in a row, and Cupp made him pay.
That's right, an infield single. Almost escaped to the outfield.
And if you're Keene, you feel like you deserve a single like that in this one after some of the things they've dealt with so far.
Got a man on. Cup stolen one bag in one attempt on the year. First pitch to Tupou. Called for a strike.
Mentioned it earlier, Ahern allowed 4 stolen bases in his first start behind the dish against Danbury.
See if Cup takes advantage of that. There he goes. Throw outside. Cup slides. Tag is in time. And Ahern guns him down, and that'll end the inning. SwampBats still trail. It's 1-0 after 3. We'll head into the top of the 4th when we come back. It's the NECBL from Keene, New Hampshire.
SwampBat fans, tonight's Brushing the Bases is brought to you by Spoonwood Dental. Let's give Ribby and Brett the intern a big hand. Like a nice set of teeth, bases need to be thoroughly brushed at least twice a day. Thanks to Spoonwood Dental, Ribby brushes every day to keep his big smile looking great for all of his pictures. Just like Ribby, make sure to visit Spoonwood Dental for all your dental needs.
For your savings in the future, buying your first home, or growing your business, NBT Bank is here to help you step up to the plate and hit a home run with your finances. NBT Bank, it starts here.
Welcome back to Keene Alumni Field. SteepleCats leading the SwampBats 1-0 as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Nick Pavia, though, has been absolutely lights out on the mound. 7 strikeouts through 3 innings. Why has his stuff been so unhittable for North Adams?
Well, the speed change is what I think gets guys with Pavia. A fastball that sits around 91, 92 and can get high up to maybe sometimes 93, and then off-speed stuff that's in the low 80s. So when hitters have to adjust that, and if Pavia's hitting his spots, then it can be tough for hitters to sort of just even figure out their way around a pitcher like Pavia. Already with 7 strikeouts, 44 pitches, 32 of which, now 33 of which, are for strikes.
Grease Smith to lead things off here in the top of the 4th. 2-hole hitter playing center field. He is one of the 7 strikeout victims of Pavia so far in this one. And he swung through the first pitch, so he's down in the count 0-1. Here's the second delivery from Pavia, and it's the same result. This time he goes to the breaking ball down in the dirt, gets Grease Smith to chase.
And that at 81, and the spin rate is there, but it's just out so far in front of it. This Grease Smith. Now Pavia has really all the tools in his pocket.
Here comes the 0-2. Grease Smith grounds this one. Nick Romano unable to field it. It's going to bounce over his head, roll into the outfield. And Grease Smith is standing on first base.
That took a weird hop. I don't think Romano was expecting that ball to pop up as much as it did the first time it hit the dirt. Just bounced, he had his glove ready. It looked like he was going to make the play, and then it just hopped over him, and he looked back, and then it was in O'Brien's glove in left field.
It's going to be ruled a single for Grease Smith. No error on the play on Romano. Quick check over there on Grease Smith.
The ball was hit hard. I mean, exit velocity of 81, and that soft, or the hard grounder has a lot of top spin, so once it catches out of the grass and then into the dirt, that's what can happen.
Swing and a miss from Billy Howard, the designated hitter tonight for the SteepleCats. He's down in the count 0-1. Grease Smith doing some dancing off the bag there at first base. He's 2 for 2 on the season on stolen base attempts. Out there manning center field, he shows off the wheels on both sides of the ball.
Again, it's a dangerous weapon in TJ Schuyler behind the plate. Schuyler got the start against Martha's Vineyard on Sunday behind the plate. First or second inning, he backpicked a guy at first. Got someone sleeping over there, or maybe looking at the same thing.
Howard fouls off the 1-1, so Pavia just 1 strike away, recording his 8th strikeout of the game. Howard taking a moment to gather himself with a deep breath as he steps back in. Pavia's going to check back over on Grease Smith once again. no disengagement rule here in the NECBL, so he can do that as many times as he would like.
Now, do you think this is something that I have an opinion on? Do you think there should be a disengagement rule in college baseball?
As here comes the 1-2. This one's grounded towards Romano. Throw over to first across the diamond is in time. Grease Smith with some heads-up base running, though, and is going to take the extra bag as no one covered the bag for Romano after making the throw. So Eli Grease Smith moves 90 feet away from being an insurance run. Now, to answer your question, I don't think so.
Really?
I don't think so, just because at that level, you don't want to interrupt the flow of the baseball game. When you're up in the majors, I get it. It's more for the fans. It's more for viewership and ratings than anything. And pace of play is more important at that level. College baseball, though, I feel is baseball at its purest form.
I think there's some instances where you see guys pick over to first 6 or 7 times in, and I don't think it has to be the same number that it is in MLB, but I think there does have to be a limit just to keep it going.
The batter is Natividad, and Romano getting all the action as he comes home with a perfect throw. Eli Grease Smith gunned out at home. Kind of got punched in the face there.
Yeah, it's just a
little shaken up.
Skyler has the ball. He's entitled to his space. I don't think it was intentional at all, but saves the run. A good play by Skyler.
Absolutely no dirty feeling, no dirtiness there. Grease Smith, he's a tough guy. He can take that. But nonetheless, it's a great play by Romano. His 3rd ground ball hit at him this inning. Had one to go over his head to start the inning, but he makes up for it there, getting the out at home. Strike pumped in there by Pavia, getting ahead in the count 0-1 on the right or the left fielder, Corey Robinson. Robinson struck out swinging in his first at-bat. This one's gonna miss down low for Pavia. Count moves to 1-1. Comes the 1-1. This one's going to miss up high. And for a very rare, it feels like, first time, a SteepleCats hitter ahead of a count.
Yeah.
With Pavia on the mound today.
Hasn't happened too much today, but Pavia, that's just how Pavia's been operating. He's almost to 60 pitches. I would imagine this is the last inning we see him.
Pavia's going to take a quick check there over on Natividad. Comes home with the 2-1. And that's going to be pumped in there at the knees, called a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Deuce is wild. Pavia can just go attack. And his defense has the ability to play behind him, but strikeout's what he's going to prefer.
Here comes the 2-2. Robinson takes down low. Very close pitch, called a ball.
Yeah, that's a great take. I don't know how you do it with 2 strikes, but Robinson, a pretty solid eye. Runner will be moving here.
Full count. Natividad takes off for second. That pitch is going to miss outside, and the SteepleCats extend the inning. Gabe Natividad able to draw the walk. 1 for 1 on the day, homered back in the first, and now he takes the free pass to first base, which passes the torch to Alex Mendez.
Yeah, only the first walk of the day on, what is that at this point, 7 strikeouts for Pavia. Except Mendez, who was the 4th strikeout victim of the day for Pavia.
And I apologize, that was Corey Robinson taking the walk. Natividad is our runner on second. He reached on a fielder's choice. First pitch to Mendez is going to be pumped in there outside corner for a strike.
89. And they just called a balk.
Not quite sure what I saw there. I was looking down at my score sheet.
Yeah, but that's, it's like the pitching coach for the SwampBats, Stephen Banks, is going to come out and have a chat with Pavia. You're right, I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if we can get a replay on that, or if possible.
And if you're
it's one of those things where it's just, you know, an umpire.
It's very hit and miss.
It is, right.
Very subjective.
But the call's the call, and he has the best view at it. So strategy, 2 outs is the positive thing, and an 0-1 count to Mendez.
Mendez making his first start on the season for the SteepleCats out of Mount St. Mary's University. Big contact guy. racked up 39 hits this season in 107 at-bats.
That's what you like having in the middle of the order in a 6-slot guy. Just that contact.
The 0-1 is going to miss off the plate outside. 1-1 the count. One ball, one strike, 2 outs. Pavia comes home. A swing and a miss by Mendez. And a back pick there. I think it was foul tipped into the glove.
Yep.
Which is why Billy Howard felt comfortable, or Tibiday, I should say, felt comfortable enough to be walking around there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pavia searching to get out of the inning. Keep this a 1-run game. Here's the pitch. Bounces on the plate.
Great block by Skyler. With how deep this backstop is here at Alumni Field, if that gets by Skyler, that's a run coming in for sure.
And I thought Joe Wolf's field area behind home plate was large. Now, Keene, allowed here at Alumni Field, almost doubles it. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Mendez takes, and it's going to be rung up for strike 3. So traffic for Keene, but they're able to work through it. 1-0 our score. Stick with us here. We'll be right back.
What I'm looking for in a bank is one that's looking out for me, like NBT. I want a relationship and a team that supports me and my dreams, like NBT. And let's face it, life can get challenging. I need a bank that's focused on me. They've been rated tops in all the things that matter, like trust, customer service, and financial advice. So when I need a bank I can trust, it's always NBT and me.
Rondé Barber here. Being in the NFL for 16 years, I've dealt with my fair share of bumps and bruises. But typical ice packs never stayed cold long enough, were messy, and inconvenient. HurtSkirt offers the same long-lasting treatment as ice does, but without the hassle. HurtSkirt uses no antifreeze chemicals, ensuring that panels freeze solid and stay colder for longer. Drop the ice, skirt the hurt. Use code BARBER20 for 20% off and free shipping at HurtSkirt.com.
We're back here for the bottom of the 4th inning from Alumni Field here in Keene, New Hampshire. The SwampBats looking for their first run of the game, and it feels like they've just been knocking on the doorstep. They've been so close so many times. They're doing so many things right, but they haven't been able to scratch the surface and bring one around.
Yeah, they've stranded 3 thus far. Stranding base runners has been something that I think they want to improve. They stranded quite a few in the home opener, or against Martha's Vineyard on Sunday. That game, both teams had combined to strand 15 by the halfway point in the game. Last night against Newport, it was 6 stranded, but that was because of a bases loaded strikeout in, say, that was the 6th inning, the bottom of the 6th, which was the first half inning that we had after the hour-long rain delay.
So this brings up the left-handed hitting, power hitting first baseman Chandler Tupou. First pitch from Ruggiero is going to bounce on the plate, called a ball low. And for Ruggiero, not a strikeout recorded on the day so far, on like 8 to Pavia's name. But Ruggiero is through 3 with a clean slate. Ruggiero comes set. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Tupou fouls this one off hard. Wow, way out in front of it.
That is in the swamp. There is a swamp over there. That's why we get a lot of mosquitoes around here. That is in the water. So hopefully maybe it splashed and took a couple of mosquito eggs with it.
Maybe a bat got a souvenir there.
Yeah, maybe. It's possible. I always wonder what a swamp bat is. It's just that. You know, it's kind of in the name. Good block there from Ahern.
Of course, not needed to get the block going on, but it's always good to stay in rhythm. Don't get sleepy.
It's a respect thing, you know. Like, you don't want to just, if your pitcher throws an error one, you don't want to turn your head and look around and say, hey, throw it a little better next time. But it's one of those where good to keep it in front of you.
Ruggiero comes set, 2-1 the count. He fires home. Tupou, broken bat, wood flying everywhere, fielded by Henshin. He'll step on the bag, and it's always scary when you see that barrel flying toward the infielders. Luckily, no one was struck by anything there, but it's the first out of the inning.
The broken bat went further than the ball. which is kind of funny. But Shard will be discarded. Sounded like it was loud contact. I was looking down at my scorebook, and then I see the half of the bat just falling through the
infield. As
yeah.
Ahern just found a piece. Splinter that was sticking in the infield grass.
Yep.
Good eye by him to get that out of the way. Make sure it doesn't come back into play later.
Especially, yeah, you don't want somebody stepping on that. That wouldn't be fun.
Would not at all. Gonna have to come out of the game due to Splinter.
Yeesh. Thank you.
This brings Nick Romano to the plate, who had an inning that I haven't seen in a while. He had 3 ground balls hit him in a row, just testing him. But he made a great assist to home on a put-out. Eli Grease-Smith trying to go from third to home on a ground ball to the left side of the infield. He was thrown out by Romano. Now he'll try to do it with the bat. Here comes the 0-1 from Ruggiero. Clips the outside corner. Good-looking pitch there to get ahead 0-2.
Seemed like it was one of those that was just right on the edge.
Ruggiero seeking his first strikeout of the day. He kicks and deals. Romano takes down low, moving the count to 1 ball, 2 strikes.
You got to expand your zone a little bit up there as a hitter. Did a decent enough job to do it there. Not too difficult to lay off for a hitter of Romano's caliber.
Here comes the 1-2. Foul tip back behind home plate. Romano stays alive.
That umpire will clean off the dish.
Romano reached on an error back in the first inning. It was a ground ball at Nicky Lopez, a throwing error at that led to Mark Henshin throwing out a Keene runner at home to end that first inning. Here's the 1-2. That's going to bounce on the plate. And this at-bat continues. Good battle here between Ruggiero and Romano.
With 1 out, SwampBats need to get something going here as they had good momentum in the second. Fizzled out a little bit in the third as they had 1 on, but O'Brien got caught stealing.
This will be the 6th pitch of the at-bat. Romano swings and misses at that one. Ruggiero's first strikeout of the day. And that's 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th.
It looked like a changeup or a splitter, maybe. Lower spin rate on that, lower miles an hour. That came in at 76. So got Romano to swing over at a good pitch, whatever it was.
Now coming up to bat for the SwampBats, it'll be Marshall Lipsy. Lipsy got a view of 1 pitch, and he got a close view at it as it hit him to start the first pitch of the 2nd inning. This time it bounces on the plate. Hasn't seen one in the zone tonight.
No, he has not. No action in the North Adams bullpen. There's a couple of SwampBat relief pitchers up and moving.
Manager Mike Gladdu's philosophy, he wants his starter to get through 5 innings. The last 2, Nick Hunkley and AJ Petritis were able to do so successfully. As this one's grounded back up the middle, and it's through for a base hit. A good swing on that one from Marshall Lipsy. That's a 2-out single for the SwampBats.
Nice smooth swing. Sent it back right where it came from, and came off the bat at 96 miles an hour, but got eaten up by that grass. And just a smooth single right back up the middle. Split the difference between the pitcher and the infielders. And you got yourself a single. Good piece.
Ripken Reese now coming up to bat for Keene.
Played his first game. Just got here earlier in the week. 0 for 3 yesterday in that pitcher's duel against Newport.
Ruggiero's going to miss outside the first pitch of the at-bat.
Looks to me that SwampBats, I think that's Jaden Barraquiero warming up in their bullpen.
Ruggiero looks in, shakes off 2 pitches. Runner thought about taking off for second, stops halfway and gets back to the bag. When Ahern thought about a pick-off throw behind him, decided to eat it though.
Well, the thing is, when you look at the pitch count difference, this North Adams pitcher Ruggiero at 49, Pavia up to 60 at the end of 4. That's what happens when you strike guys out. You have to throw 3 strikes to them. So your pitch count's going to be higher, and we've seen a lot of 1 or 2 pitch or 3 pitch at bats, 3 pitch plate appearances rather, for the SwampBats and Ruggiero today.
Ruggiero missed up high with the 2-0 offering, so he's gonna have to deal with a 3-0 count. Interesting to see if Reese has a take sign here. Here comes a 3-0, that's gonna miss down low, and what looked like the cleanest inning so far for Ruggiero. Now there's 2 runners on, the 2 outs after the back-to-back single and walk.
This is close to what happened. You had 2 on that error in the first, and Herring got caught at home. We'll see what Skyler can do. He just picked up his first hit of the season after starting the year 0 for 12. Picked that first hit up against Martha's Vineyard on Sunday night. Did not play yesterday. Zach Thompson was the catcher yesterday for the Bats.
The Indiana product, TJ Skyler, is going to take that one in there for a strike. Commanding fastball by Ruggiero. Lipsy on second, Reese on first. 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the 0-1. Skyler takes this one in the dirt, breaking ball, just couldn't get it over.
Skyler played for the SwampBats last year. He's a returner, but played in 6 games in the regular season. 7 for 16, 3 doubles and 3 RBIs, so he had his impact in that player push.
1-1 from Ruggiero is going to be taken outside. Ahead of the count now is TJ Skyler after falling behind 0-1.
It feels like the eye for Skyler. He's getting used to summer ball again after a season at Indiana in the Big Ten. He'll be finding his stride. Great defensive plays on Sunday against the Sharks.
Here's the 2-1. Skyler pops this one foul, out of play behind home plate. Once again, the deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away here. Bottom 4.
At this point, it's just a matter of getting the inning going, keeping the inning going for Keene at this point in the day.
Ruggiero kicks and deals. Skyler swings and misses at the high fastball, ending the 4th inning, stranding 2. North Adams still leads 1-0. We head to the top of the 5th inning. Stick with us.
Okay, SwampBats fans, we are debuting a brand new game here tonight for you. We are debuting the hop, skip, and run contest. It's a little tricky to understand. We'll be hopping to Ribby, skipping on back, and running back to Ribby again. When I say go, you guys know what to do. 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, they're hopping. They're hopping left and right. It's neck and neck. And they're skipping back. Who will win? We don't know. And now we're running back again. Pulling ahead. Unbelievable performance. Thank you very much, guys.
Ticket time. Go $25 gift card to Applebee's.
Welcome back. Alumni Field here in Keene, New Hampshire. Luke Carter joined alongside by Andrew Hillsman. We go to the top of the 5th inning. North Adams clinging on to a 1-0 lead. It was a home run by Gabe Nativide back in the 2nd inning, which put North Adams on top, and they'll look to expand on that here at the top of the 5th.
With Pavia still being out there, this is now the 3rd time, rather close to the 3rd time through the order. We're still in that 2nd time through.
It'll be Henshin, Ahern, and Lucier.
Yeah, 7, 8, 9. One gets on, then you get to that 3rd time.
Henshin struck out looking his first time up. Made a few good plays out there at first base defensively today. We're trying to take that good omen to the offensive side of the ball as he leads off the top half of the 5th inning. Henshin out of Brown in the Ivy League. Here's the first pitch of the 5th. Pumped in there for a strike. Pavia continues to pound the zone.
Yeah, I mean, he's a strike thrower. That's what he does. 46 strikes to only 19 balls in this outing. That's his brand.
Henshin takes the 0-1 inside. Tough pitch to deal with there. Confused Henshin.
It's a good one, too. An off-speed pitch, a front door slider, it looked like.
0-1, 0-2 the count. Henshin started to offer at it, did not go around. Able to hold that one back, extending the at-bat, 1-2.
It's up to 70 pitches for Pavia.
1-2 gonna be taken in there for strike 3. Pavia locating well.
9 strikeouts.
Inning.
Unreal right now for Pavia. 9 strikeouts.
At some point as a pitcher, you just start to feel untouchable when you get up to those nearing double-digit strikeout numbers.
Yeah. Just that one home run has been the difference thus far, and Keene has not been able to scratch anything across.
Ahern lets one go in there for a strike.
It's a great breaking ball.
4 strikes to 1 ball to start off the 5th inning as Pavia gets deep into this game. Here's the 0-1. This one's going to be grounded. Cup makes the play, throws over to first, and that's the second out of the inning retired by Keene.
There's good contact, but just swung over top of it. The hitter, Ahern, and now Lucier, who, again, it's more often that you're going to strike out against Pavia, at least in this game. Lucier, the 6th strikeout victim of Pavia. That was in the top of the 3rd.
Lucier with a wild swing there.
Pitch was in the
dirt.
swing and first pitch, and sitting fastball, that a changeup at 83.
And it's not a bad idea with the percentage in which the first pitches have been strikes from Pavia tonight. Pavia comes home with the 0-1. Lucier grounds this one slowly towards second. Reese picks it up, throws over to first, and it's a quick 1-2-3, top of the 5th. Pavia slicing through this North Adams lineup. Keene bats will be back after this.
What makes a great team hat? It starts with a Z. For decades, Zephyr has been making the most iconic headwear in the game, trusted by teams, colleges, and pros. We cut out the middlemen and work directly with our manufacturers, so you get top quality, fast turnaround, and prices that make sense. From bold designs to unbeatable fit, Zephyr hats are built to match the quality of your team, right down to the last stitch. Zephyr Team Headwear, born from experience, built for teams that stand out.
The Swamp Batmobile making its way around the field here before we get things going in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Love the affairs here in Keene, one of the best atmospheres in all of the NECBL. The fans bring it every night, and so does the organization, making things entertaining for everyone.
It's always a blast coming here at Alumni Field. There's various on-field games. As the rest of our intern group doing a great job to pick up the tennis balls. You can buy a tennis ball with a number on it. I guess they pick one lucky winner if you get it into the window of the car. Driver, that's Ryan Fitzpatrick having some fun over there. Driver of the Swamp Batmobile for that in-game promotion is Liam Fowler, the director of game day operations, one of our interns, and it's his birthday. So we want to say happy birthday to Mr. Liam Fowler.
Johnny Ruggiero Jr. headed out there for his 5th inning of work. Scoreless through 4 frames. Most likely will be his last inning if history is any indication with Mike Gladue and the leash he has for his starting pitchers. He'll look to put up a scoreless day, just as A.J. Petritis did 2 nights ago against Vermont at home. Ruggiero with the first pitch, squaring around a bunt was Gabe Pitts. He pulls it back as the pitch misses down low.
Well, with Pitts' speed, the bunt is absolutely in the realm of play, and I wouldn't be shocked if he goes back at it here as well. something that he's shown the ability to do.
Here's the 1-0. He's going to square around again. This time it's going to be taken up high.
It's hard for a guy to not commit to a bunt and pull it back. Take a ball.
2-0 the count. We'll see if Hitz is still thinking bunt or if he wants to swing away in a hitter's count. Here's the 2-0. He'll take that one in there for a strike at the knees. Ruggiero not trying to overcomplicate it.
Yeah, with Ruggiero throwing as he is, and just need base runners at this point. If you're Gabe Pitts in the SwampBats, we'll see what he can come up with.
Ruggiero offers the 2-1. This one is going to be bunted foul back behind home plate. It was under that one. And now with 2 strikes, the bunt will most likely be off.
Out of the backstop. Got over the backstop. Yeah, he's got to choke up and just put something in play. Can't foul one off, otherwise it's a strikeout.
Hitz looking to get on for that top of the order, which has found success tonight, but not in the form of a run. But the third time through will be tough for Ruggiero as here comes the 2-2. Hitz is going to let this one go. Misses outside. Count runs full.
Ruggiero 30 strikes and 30 balls thrown. And at this point, when you know that he's been a little erratic, even though he's been successful, now they expand the zone with a 2-strike count, even if it's 3 balls.
Payoff pitch. Just misses down low on the breaking ball.
Great take.
It's a leadoff walk by Gabe Pitts. Excellent work, as now SwampBats will have a runner on for the top of the lineup.
Yeah, it's big time. Runner on with none out. That's only the second time that that's happened today. Marshall Lipsy got hit with a pitch in the second for that to happen, and then the SwampBats went down 1, 2, and 3.
And not only is it just a runner on, but it's a runner on with speed.
Right, and he is tied for the lead, and he takes that generous lead. Ruggiero is definitely going to take a look back at him.
Quick look back from Ruggiero. He comes home. Swing and a miss. Michael O'Brien aggressive to start the at-bat.
O'Brien with a single, but got gunned down at short, or rather at second, by the shortstop. It's ready to go.
Ruggiero holding that ball. Runner takes off for second. Pitches in there for a strike. Thrown down by Ahern. Just misses. It was timed well, but unable to apply the tag was Nelfi Lopez.
Base stealing is exciting. I love it. I love watching it. And the jump that Pitts got there is just really fantastic, and just got under that sliding mitt, helped him reach out under the tag, so a runner in scoring position. This is big time for the SwampBats with none away.
A great opportunity here to make up that 1-run deficit. 0-2 pitch incoming from Ruggiero. Takes a look back, comes home with it, and it's a swing and a miss. Down goes O'Brien, the leadoff hitter, and that's a big out for Ruggiero.
Yeah, the 3rd strikeout. He's starting to put away guys by that strikeout. But again, with hits at second, something into the gap is going to score a run with the speed that he's got, especially if it's kind of in no man's land between the back of the infield and the front of the outfield. So
Jack Hearing will be the man in charge with trying to get Pitts thrown from second.
This is the guy you want to do it if you're the SwampBats as well.
First pitch from Ruggiero is going to miss in the dirt. 1-0 the count. Hearing walked back in the 1st inning and flew out in the 3rd.
Had the game-winning RBI single that he laced to right field to drive in Michael O'Brien last night. That was late into the night. It was a 3.5-hour game that probably should have been done in 2 hours and 20 minutes. But weather had its way, and it was a long ordeal.
Here's the 1-0. Hearing lines this one. Fielded by Mendez. He throws to first. Able to move up to 3rd is Pitts. And there's 2 away in the bottom half of the 5th.
A hard-hit ball as well. And that's something Herring is really good at. That time, unfortunately for him, just couldn't sneak through the gap, and a good play, Mendez. And now Pitts. 2 outs, yes, but Dylan Cupp with some RBIs to his name in the young year. He's got a chance to even this ball game up.
Ruggiero looking to end his day with a scoreless outing. He comes set. Here's the first pitch of the at-bat. Pumped in there for a strike. Fastball taken by Cupp.
This is a really high leverage moment right now for Cupp and Ruggiero out there on the bump. Cup's got to just put something in play, and hopefully that he can use his speed to beat it out.
Here's the 0-1. Cup offers up that one. It's flied into center field. Reese Smith is camped under it, and the SteepleCats continue to shut out the SwampBats through 5. 1-0 our score. Stick with us as we head to the top of the 6th inning.
Cheshire Fair family 4-pack ticket, 752-606. 752-606. Bring that to the swap shop to get your family 4-pack ticket for Cheshire Fair, 752-606.
Hey guys, tonight's Sweeping the Bases is proudly brought to you by the people at Dream Clean 123, the Greater Monadnock region's premier cleaning services. Just like your house or baseball field can always use a good cleaning. Let's hear it for Ribby and Brett as they make sure the SwampBat baseball is always playing on a clean field.
Country Roads Mobile Chiropractic. SwampBats. To help our team reach their peak performance.
Welcome back to some NECBL Wednesday night action. North Adams leading Keene 1-0. We're going to send it down to our sideline reporter, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well, like Andrew said, it is Reading with Ribby Night number 2 here at Alumni Field. And the mission to Reading with Ribby Night is simple. It is to discover a lifelong meaning and love and passion for reading starting in elementary school. The SwampBats mascot, Ribby the Bat, goes to local elementary schools every spring to kick off the program. The mission is to read for 20 minutes a day on 18 different days. And it goes for about 6 weeks for students to have that love for reading. And right after that, the kids are given bookmarks to track their reading. So kids that discover this program and complete it are given a complimentary t-shirt, family access to this SwampBats game, and most importantly of all, a lifelong habit, loving to learn and exciting to read. Back to you.
Nick Pavia's day is done after going 5 innings, only giving up 1 run and recording 9 strikeouts. The new pitcher is Jaden Barquiero. Andrew, what do you know on Jaden?
Well, Barquiero, a lefty out of Seton Hall. He last pitched last Thursday in the second home game of the year. He played it against Danbury as Barquiero. He went 4 innings in relief for Pavia after Pavia got hit around a little bit. He played well, he pitched well, 4 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run. Didn't walk anybody, struck out 5 in that 12-4 loss at Rogers Park in Connecticut. So a solid outing in relief, and seeing his first appearance since.
First pitch by Barquiero is a good-looking one that drops in for a strike against the leadoff hitter, Nelfi Lopez. Having to face the start of the top of the lineup, it's like you're starting the game when you come in from the bullpen. As here's the 0-1 pitch. This one's chopped towards the first base bag. It stays fair. Tupou plays it, steps on first for the out.
Yeah, good play from Tupou to not overrun himself and just make the play that needed to be made. Quick out number 1, and that's what Keene needs. You need as much time at the plate to try and get back in this game, and they're not out of it at all. It's a 1-run game. Anything can happen. There's still plenty of time left.
This brings up Eli Grease-Smith, a man with 1 of 2 hits on the day for North Adams. Singled back in the 4th. Fouls off the first pitch, got in on his hands. Just able to put it over the bleachers.
A little late on it. Barquiero with a good live arm. That one is another high 80s, sometimes gets into the low 90s. Not as often as Pavia.
Grease-Smith watches the 0-1 go by in there at the knees.
That one at 90.
Quickly 0-2 for Barquiero.
Grease-Smith had that interesting looking put out at home plate where TJ Schuyler kind of flattened him out. Kind of looked like something out of a cartoon.
0-2. That pitch is bounced in the dirt. You mentioned kind of looked like an episode of Wipeout.
Yes,
one of those things come out of the wall and smack you.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of, just the speed at which it happened.
A slow motion replay would have been something on that play.
It would have been cinematic. Hey, shout out John Anderson in the original Wipeout on ABC. What a fun time that was.
1-2 the count. One away here in the top half of the sixth. Here's the 1-2. That's going to bounce in the dirt. Eli Reese-Smith able to get the count even after falling behind 0-2.
Tried to go back at him with the breaking ball, get him a chase if he was expecting fastball, but Reese-Smith saw it out of the hand, and it also started just too low for anybody to offer at it.
The Arkansas Pine Bluff product hits this one high and deep towards left center, but there at the track is Gabe Pitts. Looked good off the bat, jumped, but not enough height or distance to get it out of here at Alumni Field.
You know, I love numbers. That's 95 off the bat, and 329, but a good first step from Gabe Pitts. He got to his right and read it off the bat. Got to stay super focused as an outfielder in Pitts with great range in center field.
Barkier will look to cap off a 1-2-3 inning as Billy Howard steps in.
Looks like it's a new batter. This is number 25. This is Colin Overholt coming in for Billy Howard. Interesting.
Overholt swings and misses at the first one.
So they want Howard, a right-handed batter, or a left-handed batter out of the lineup. DH, so it doesn't really make too much of a difference, but Overholt as a lefty.
Overholt's going to take this one downstairs for a ball. Overholt went 1 for 3 on Monday against Vermont, but more importantly, played some excellent defense at shortstop, making an incredible play to save the game in the top half of the ninth. 1-1 pitch is going to be fouled back behind home plate, and he's behind 1-2. Overholt out of Ashland University, where he hit .307 this past season. Marquiro comes home, and Overholt is able to stay alive, pulling that one into the North Adams dugout.
The thing with Marquiro in this lefty-lefty matchup, it gives the right-handed batter a little bit extra time to pick it out of the hand of the lefty pitcher.
1-2 is going to be popped behind the first base bag. Moving over is Tupou, but calling for it is Reese. He makes the catch, and that will do it for the top half of the sixth. 1-2-3 for Barquiero. Stick with us. We'll be back to the bottom half of the inning.
We are Keene State. Here, we believe that everyone is welcome and anything is possible.
Look closer. We are a tight-knit community, an inclusive community, where people can be their true selves. Bring your ability, background, culture, or traditions, whatever makes you you.
You already have what it takes. Welcome to Keene State.
Pitching change for North Adams as we head to the bottom of the sixth inning. It's going to be James Moore out of St. Lawrence University. And Moore is a guy who kind of lacks experience in college. His first season in 2023 at St. Lawrence, only 7 appearances in which he had a 16.62 ERA before an injury sidelined him for the 2024 season and most of the 2025 seasons as well, as he was only able to make 3 appearances. But in those 3 appearances in 3 innings pitched, he had a perfect 0 ERA. So he has some momentum coming into this one.
Yeah, pretty solid. 2023 played his summer ball in the Perfect Game Collegiate League, Auburn Double Days in Auburn, New York. Made 8 appearances and a 4.76 ERA, 17 innings pitched, only 9 earned runs. Walked 6 and struck out 6. So another guy for North Adams who looks like he pitches to contact, which is a good way to do it. It's been effective thus far.
Moore's going to have to face the meat of this lineup, 4, 5, 6, Tupou, Romano, and Lipson.
That's, if you want somebody to bring you a spark, if you're Keene, this is the set of guys to do it. But Keene getting a little antsy for sure at this point where you're heading into the back third of the ball game.
Ruggiero's final line on the day, 5 innings pitched, no earned runs, and 3 strikeouts to go along with them. A very efficient outing for Ruggiero, as here's the first pitch from Moore. This one's going to be fouled off back behind home plate. Ahern looking to make a play on it, but it hits the fence. It stays foul.
Get a chance at that if it spun back, and oftentimes it does spin back and come in towards the plate more, but it's so tough to read with the spin that ball has coming off the top of the barrel.
Tupou searching for his first hit of the day, 0 for 2 with a flyout and a ground out. Here comes the 0-1. Tupou's going to let this high fastball go by, evening up the count at 1-1.
And not a lot of velocity, 81. Looked like a fastball to me, but specialty of Moore maybe in the placement and the off-speed pitch. That at 72.
9-mile-per-hour difference there. Tough to deal with as a batter adjusting to that for sure.
Especially when you've seen 84, 85 the whole game. It's tough to change in that regard.
Here comes the 1-2 from Moore. Tupou able to ground this one, but right there to pick it up and throw it over to first is the second baseman, Alex Mendez. First out recorded in the bottom of the 6th. North Adams continues to move through this game flawlessly on the pitching and defense side.
Yep, no runs allowed on 3 hits. No errors, rather 1 error committed by SteepleCats. Romano, the switch hitter, will look to get something started if he can.
Romano lets that first one go by outside. Romano 0 for 1 on the day. Struck out as he watches another pitch on the outside go. Unable to clip the corner was Moore.
Right at the letters a little bit.
2 balls, no strikes. Moore kicks and deals. Misses down low, and it's a 3-0 count for Romano.
The thing with Keene is that they've needed base runners, but they've stranded 6 base runners. They've had their chances. It just has kind of been a struggle to get over that finish line in an inning and come away with a run.
3-0 pitch, takes sign on, pitch misses high. And it's a 4-pitch walk issued to Nick Romano.
Only one away, and now Lipsy, who has a single, so he's been a solid hitter today. There's a chance for him to come in and get something started.
Lipsy with a very simple approach his last time up, seeing eye single up the middle with some good exit velocity.
At this point, they don't care about the contact or the quality of the contact. It's just whether you're making the contact and putting it in the right spot as well.
Moore working out of the stretch, misses up high. 5 straight balls thrown by Nick Romano. James Moore.
That'll be something.
Nick Romano is the runner on first. He's still in play, not completely irrelevant to the situation right now.
This is true.
Here's the 1-0 from Moore. This one's hit high in the air towards left center. Going back on it is Grease Smith. It's off the base of the wall. Coming around third. It's going to be a play at the plate. Throw home. Bounced. Ahern unable to handle it. And we're tied at 1. It's an RBI double. Coming through big is Marshall Lipsy with his second hit of the game.
Wow, what a hit. Lipsy using the whole field. He takes it the other way, and that's exactly what the SwampBats needed. 2-2, and Lipsy, his first RBI of the year. That's what he needed to just get this team started. Maybe it's a start of a rally, even if it's not. You're back to even. Here's a replay. This one gets off the wall, and Coach McKenna sent the runner Romano around third. If the catcher had caught this cleanly, Romano was out by a long way, but just struggled with it on a hop, and it got eaten up in his chest plate, and now it's a 1-1 game.
I was very surprised to see the send sign.
Me too.
From the third base coach of the SwampBats, but it ended up working in their favor as this game's tied at 1 apiece, finally able to break through and get one to come around.
Lipsy playing in his 3rd game. That's his first double of the season as well. Couldn't really come at a better time.
Ripken Reese now with an opportunity, a runner in scoring position. And he's quickly ahead in the count, 2-0.
And James Moore struggling to find the strike zone at this point. He's thrown only 4 strikes to 7 balls early in this one. At least in his appearance early in it.
Takes a look back at Lipsy, now comes home and misses upstairs. And he's in another 3-0 count. Issued a 4-pitch walk to Romano, who would come around to score on the double from Lipsy.
All the way from first, too. Got a great jump.
Here's the 3-0 pitch from Moore. Taken upstairs, missing that top of the strike zone. Now it's runners on first and second. Ripken Reese on the 4-pitch walk.
Their attendance total, they 3,325 through the gates here at Alumni Field. A pretty fun afternoon and evening that it's been. So there'll be a mound meeting.
There is some action in the North Adams bullpen.
It didn't look to me like anybody was warmed up was the thing. But I think, we'll see. They make a call to the bullpen, maybe?
And they will. Manager Mike Gladue will take the ball from James Moore, who finishes his day 1/3 of an inning pitched, 1 earned run, and 2 walks off the double. We'll be right back for the pitching change. Stick with us.
Now pitching from North Adams. From Colorado Mesa University, Newport Beach, California. Number 45, Brendan Morris. And lucky ticket time, ladies and gentlemen, for $25 gift certificate to Eat More Cake. 365 7368.
It's going to be the Newport Beach product out of Colorado Mesa, Brendan Morris, coming into the game, the right-hander, looking to get the SteepleCats out of a jam. First and second is the situation with only 1 away. Marshall Lipsy came through with a big RBI double to tie this game up before Ripken Reese drew a 4-pitch walk, which ended James Moore's stay. And now Brendan Morris. Big moment here as the SteepleCats were clinging on to a 1-run lead for 4 straight innings. And they don't want to give the lead back to Keene. Or I should say the lead for the first time to Keene, because Keene has not led in this one.
Yep. Again, this is the earliest Keene has scored in a ball game at all, at least in the games that I've seen this year, is around that 4th inning or the 3rd inning. So it's been taking a little bit to get them started here. In the 6th is when they strike.
Morris gets a swing and a miss as TJ Schuyler, the catcher, up to bat for Keene.
Now some adjustment needing to be made by the Keene hitters. Morris, a guy who can run it up to the high 80s.
Morris comes home with the 1-0, drops one in at the knees, good-looking pitch. Pumps in 2 back-to-back pitches for strikes. Now he has a chance to take some pressure off North Adams. Morris takes a quick look back at Lipsy before coming home, and that's going to be a strikeout looking. Got it right in there. 3 pitches, 3 strikes. Now North Adams just needs 1 more out.
And a breaking ball that Schuyler decides not to offer at and just catches the black. A great pitch. The first batter faced for Morris is down on strikes, so now Gabe Pitts with 2 outs. It takes the bunt out of the equation, but still will stand back in the batter's box and try and let one go.
He misses down low with the first pitch to Pitts. Pitts was able to draw a walk and then ended up stealing a base back in the 5th inning. Looking to come through here with 2 runners on. Just missing inside there is Morris, maybe a little low too on that one.
Yeah, Keene hasn't scored in the first 2 innings of a ballgame. They scored against Upper Valley in the 3rd, in the home opener.
Morris misses down low once again, and it was 3 straight strikes. The first hitter he saw, now 3 straight balls to Pitts.
I was mistaken. The game that I was not on the call for against North Shore, they scored in the 1st and in the 3rd.
Here's the 3-0. Pitts is going to let it go. That's in there for a strike. And now Morris has one more chance to get back in this at bat, if not let Pitts go.
I think he's okay with taking that first strike as Pitts for sure.
Morris delivers the 3-1. Pitts watches that one go in the dirt. Now the bases will be loaded with 2 outs. Flipping the lineup back over for Michael O'Brien.
And O'Brien, who struck out for the first out of the 5th. This is a righty-lefty matchup, and O'Brien, below the Mendoza line in the young season, hasn't had an RBI this year. A chance.
Started to go around, but was able to hold it up.
It's a good take.
O'Brien 1 for 3 on the day. Here's the 1-0. This one's lined hard into the corner in right field. 1 run comes in, 2nd comes in Reese. Now rounding 3rd is Pitts with the speed. Little bit of trouble fielding it in the outfield by Matt Lucier. And it's a 3-run bases clearing triple for Keene as they've taken control here in the bottom of the 6th.
Holy cow, that was placed perfectly from O'Brien. Exactly what the Bats needed. A laser down the right field line, off the bat at 100 miles an hour. Have a look at this, gets into the corner, and Lucier had to run to get it. Took a bad bounce off the pole, and at that point, everybody was gonna score. The perfect situation. It's exactly what the SwampBats needed. Now they lead by 3, way more comfortable for them.
Morris misses up high. Correction, called a strike at the top of the strike zone.
A 3 RBI triple. That's the first SwampBat triple, I believe. Yes, it is, of the year.
Morris misses with the 0-1, evening up the count at 1-1. And Pitts, unbelievable speed.
Oh, he's fast.
Off of first base. Not very often you see a runner from first score standing up with no throw home.
He slowed down as he made the last third of that from the 90 feet from 3rd to home, that last third of that run, those last 30 feet, he slowed down and pulled up. He didn't need to, he was there regardless of where that ball was. He just has that sort of speed.
This one's grounded right back at Morris, fields it cleanly, great instincts, but Keene finally able to break through once they got into the bullpen of North Adams. It's a 4-run inning. They take the lead 4-1. Michael O'Brien with a 3-run triple. We'll be right back for the top of the 7th. Stick with us.
And tonight, SwampBat Mobile tennis ball winner, $22.50 is Serena Caribe. Congratulations to Serena. More than 1,400 sales locations across the state. Don't forget to stop and buy the Lucky Strip Fire Powerball, Mega Millions, Prize cash tickets, and more. Now you can play right from your mobile phone. More than 150 games on sale through the National Lottery.
Well, another win for Brett Robinson, one of the Keene SwampBats operations interns who runs the Dash in the Grass. And that was the largest margin of victory in everybody's favorite running race here at Alumni Field that we've seen all season. All right, the last 3 innings of this game, it's a whole new ball game after that. Michael O'Brien bases clearing 3 RBI triple with 2 away there in the bottom of the 6th. Andrew Hillsman here with Luke Carter and Jaden Barraquero still there for another inning of work for the SwampBats after Pavia pitched honestly really well. Some people might say, okay, he let up the home run. That's 1 run. He struck out 9 SteepleCat batters today. Unbelievable.
Only gave up 2 hits as well.
Yeah.
Didn't walk anyone. Can't really ask for anything more from Pavia.
I would imagine that was, he walked 1, but very close to the end. That was, he walked Corey Robinson in the 4th, and then went and struck out Alex Mendez looking to end his day. So, or no, to end the 4th, and then he went 1, 2, 3 in the 5th. So, efficiency, he could have struck out 11 or 12.
Absolutely, and you felt like it was only a matter of time before the Keene offense got going once Ruggiero Jr. left the game.
Well, the SteepleCats are looking for someone to respond, and Gabe Natividad might be their man as he hit that solo shot in the top of the 2nd to score the first run of this ball game and give the SteepleCats the lead that they held for 4 innings.
Yeah, Natividad, that home run back in the 2nd, he just went in there with an aggressive mindset, got a pitch elevated, took it out.
4-1 ball game, 4 runs on 5 hits, no errors for the SwampBats, 1 run on 2 hits, and 1 error for the SteepleCats. Backhanded play, Cup fires it over to first. Tupou the lunge, got him.
And that's an excellent play by Cup because Natividad, he's got some wheels. I thought that play was going to be a lot closer than it ended up being.
Whew. Ripken Reese giving his teammate some props there, and the smooth fielding former Mississippi State Bulldog flashing the leather there. Be interested to see the data on how fast he threw that ball. I mean, that's maybe close to 85 or above.
Eye test agrees with you.
Yeah, I'm not the best at guessing velocity, but that had velocity. There's no getting around that. The 1-0 to Robinson, who's struck out and walked, as that one puffed up some of the chalk on the 3rd base foul line and then curved into foul territory.
And if you're North Adams, you can't get away from the patient at-bats. That's what this team does to be successful on offense. It's hard when you go down by 3 runs after leading for so long.
Swing and a miss, strike 2.
But if you're Mike Gladu and the rest of the coaching staff at North Adams, you have to reassure your guys to not get away from what makes you successful.
There's some SwampBats. There's Todd Kanibi there on the right signing some autographs for some young SwampBats fans. The 1-2 outside. And that's Andrew Lapine warming up, the submarine pitcher for the SwampBats in the bullpen. 2-2. Swinging a high pop-up into the evening sky. Cup calls everybody off in shallow left field and puts it away for the 2nd out. Good communication from Cup, the shortstop, the general out there in that middle infield. He's a vocal guy. One guy to get to know. He's got that baseball mind. First pitch, a breaking ball there for a strike to Alex Mendez, who's 0 for 2 and struck out in the 2nd and struck out looking in the 4th.
Yeah, we'll be there.
1-0. Swinging a liner just foul by 5 or 6 feet, and the kids will rush after that.
Yeah, really good looking swing there by Mendez. Trying to just go the other way with it, not do too much with the ball and find some open space. He's got a lot of room out in right field if he can get another outside pitch that he can take that way.
Ball on a strike. The stick figures up there in the ball strike counter with 2 away already. Lefty. I guess it was strike 3. All right, never mind. Scoreboard was wrong. It was 1-2, and it's another strikeout for the SwampBats pitching staff. We're through 6.5, and it's time for the 7th inning stretch. We'll be right back on the other side of this break. It's the New England League from Keene, New Hampshire. 4-1 after 6.5, and we've gone through the 7th inning stretch. The first batter due up for the SwampBats here in the bottom of the 7th. Dylan Cup, then Chandler Tupou, then Nick Romano. Andrew Hillsman here with Luke Carter. Luke, your Oklahoma City Thunder are getting ready to play in Game 3 against sort of my Indiana Pacers, but I'm not the biggest NBA guy, but you seem to be pretty hyped up about, you know, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the job that OKC's done over there. So fun times for you as a sports fan, huh?
Yeah, unbelievable season by the Thunder as a whole. That team defense that just swarms opposing offenses. But that Pacers offense, so fun to watch.
Yeah.
A lot of people dislike the finals matchup of Oklahoma City, versus Indiana, but if
you
love the game.
Two places that love basketball.
Precisely, precisely.
Now we'll go back to baseball. 4-1 as Cup takes a slider outside, ball 1. And Cup's plate discipline has really impressed me. He doesn't strike out too much. Obviously, yesterday was a little bit of an outlier with just the quality of pitching staff, but he only struck out looking once. As there's a liner into left center field. That gets down for a leadoff base hit. As Cup takes a look towards second, will stay at first.
Yeah, Cup coiled like a snake with that big leg kick. Very similar to a former SteepleCat looking type swing like Zach Neto of the Angels. Very similar shortstop position.
Yeah.
Reminded me of him right there.
Yeah. Always fun to look back at the set of alumni of these teams who go on to play in the major leagues. One of probably the best SwampBat to play would be the Dodgers' Andre Ethier. This one's into left field and into the glove of Robinson as Cup is forced to stay at first. Ryan Pepio as well, pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays, long time. And in a couple of years, I imagine that Devin Taylor will be added to that list as well, the smooth swinging left fielder who's entering the draft this year out of Indiana. One away here in the bottom of the 7th, and it's Nick Romano, the switch hitting third baseman, who's walked and reached on an error. On first is Cup, was caught stealing in the 3rd on a great throw from the catcher Ahern, and another pickoff attempt over. He's back in safely.
And if that was a more accurate throw by Morris on that pickup, there's a chance he was leaning towards second there.
Yep.
Very close.
He can spin his body around more. Morris, 6'5" out there on the bump, and the tall righty winds and deals. Ball outside. And it's a perfect opportunity for Keene to keep the pressure on and, you know, add to their lead that they found off that incredible bases clearing triple from Michael O'Brien. Swinging a liner, that gets through the gap and over the infielder's heads. Cup will stay at second. Everybody goes station to station. A hard hit ball and a single. A good pull hitter in Romano. And 2 on with 1 away.
Yeah, and the SwampBats have really just been able to put some good quality swings on pitches in the zone.
They're just finding the barrel.
Morris.
Yeah. Finding the barrel. That one at 95 miles an hour on the exit velocity. Brought to you by TrackMan.
Contact, getting contact was never the problem for Keene today. It was getting quality contact, and with Ruggiero Jr. out of the game, they've been able to do so.
And away from, we saw a lot of atom balls as well. You know, it was situations where just hard hit balls. Cup had one. When he flew out to center field, a hard hit ball that just kind of went straight to where the fielder was. Swinging a liner the other way, rushing in for it, and he can't make the sliding play. Does Robinson, sending Cup home is head coach Sean McKenna. No play at the plate. It's 5-1 SwampBats, an RBI single.
And just another ball with a good chunk of wood on it. Really close play for Corey Robinson out there in left. I know he's a competitor. That's one he's going to want back badly. Had it in the glove. He makes that play 9 times out of 10. But Keene continuing to forward on.
We'll have another look at it. And again, going the other way, Romano. And selling out for that was Corey Robinson. If he makes that play, it's great, but you run the risk of what happened to the SteepleCats on that play, where it gets by you and a run scores. If that's played on a hop, maybe it's bases loaded. First pitch, a strike on the inside half of the plate to Ripken Reese. And still only 1 away in this bottom of the 7th. Still a good crowd. 3,325 through the gates today at Alumni Field. The 0-1. It's low.
And Marshall Lipsy, he has just had one heck of a day.
No, he's been
to this point
excellent
so
today.
far. Picked up his second RBI of the game on that single in his third hit. Also has not been able to get him out. He was hit by a pitch in his first at bat too. 3 for 3 with a hit by pitch.
1-1 towards the back foot on a fastball that maybe stuck to the fingers a little too long. Ripken Reese, the switch hitter. A lot of switch hitters in this lineup. Mono. Reese waves at a changeup.
And as a manager, when you're making your lineup every day, it's gotta feel so nice to have those switch hitters you can sprinkle throughout your lineup and not worry about the hand matchup at all.
Jack Herring, a switch hitter as well. 2-2 with 1 away. Swinging a flare, that'll get down in the dirt. Got out of play at third, that'll be a force out. As Romano got caught up in no man's land. He thought it was gonna fall into the shortstop Lopez's glove, but he let it drop and made the easy out at third.
Yeah, Romano is shaking his head on that one because really not much you can do. Either way, if you run to third, he catches it, it's a tough one for a runner. You gotta make the right smart baseball play.
I assume that'll be a fielder's choice. First pitch, a strike to TJ Schuyler. Reese on first with a fielder's choice. Lipsy advances to second on that as well. And Nick Romano goes down on a 6-5 putout.
Jeff Martell. We have a special on lost children. Please go to the merchandise. Go to pick up your son.
Morris was tasked with coming into the game, bases loaded, ended up giving up that triple. Tough spot to come into a game.
The 0-2 to Schuyler. As he looks at one in the dirt and away. Really turned into a beautiful night, not too hot. The rain yesterday cooled it down. Yesterday was a really hot week. It was almost 90 on Thursday when the SwampBats played the Navigators. 1-2, fouled off in on the hands to Schuyler, and will be a souvenir for somebody over there.
You can't relate down, or up, I should say. Down, technically, down in North Adams. It has been nothing but gray skies and rain and some cold.
You guys have had plenty of rain out
Western Massachusetts.
1-2, swinging a chopper, and it'll stay foul. Just chipping away and trying to find a way through Morris is Schuyler.
Me and Brendan Morris, who's from Southern California as well, not used to gray skies and rain at this time in the calendar year.
No, definitely not. That's not something you guys probably get out there too often. Ball and 2 strikes to the catcher, Schuyler. Runners on first and second. Appeal down to first. He didn't go around. 2-2.
Great display of strength by TJ Schuyler there.
Deuce is wild. And here's the pitch. Called, strike 3. Schuyler goes down looking for the second straight plate appearance. But the Bats add another on a Marshall Lipsy RBI single, and it's 5-1 as we head to the final 2 innings of the game. 2 up for the SteepleCats, Henshin, Ahern, and Lucier. When we come back, you're watching the New England League from Keene, New Hampshire.
If you have any loose trash that you're still looking to throw out, interns will be going through the stands with trash bags, so keep your eyes peeled for the black polos in the trash bag, and we'll be happy to take care of your trash for you. Thank you.
National Bank is proud to sponsor the Keene SwampBats this season. As a 125-year-old mutual bank and a certified B corporation, we are committed to being a force for positive change. We invite you to discover the difference banking with us can make. like that day, from the warehouse to the office, we help to feed our families, neighbors, and community. The Richards Group has helped.
The lights are on and the sun is setting. And there's a new pitcher for the Keene SwampBats on the hill. It's Andrew Lepine. A submariner last pitched, I believe, against
June 5th against North Shore.
Sure, that was last Thursday, and Lepine on the year, you look at his stats in that one appearance, not too shabby, 2 innings pitched, allowed 2 runs on 2 hits. Struck out 3 though, so guys, it would be tough. It's tough for guys to pick up that arm slot. Even as a catcher, I gotta imagine it's kind of tough to pick that out and even get the ball in your mitt.
And something interesting that we might see here, if either Henshin, Ahern, or Lucier is able to get on, he'll flip the lineup back over to the top for Nelfi Lopez, who is a Stetson teammate of Andrew Lepine, which will be a fun matchup, seeing 2 guys from Florida going to the same school go at it.
Played in the Florida Collegiate League last year. Rising sophomore at Stetson University for the Hatters. I wonder why the Stetson Hatters are called the Hatters. I believe Stetson was a person and he made hats. So maybe they lack in the creativity department a little bit, but the name, at least, it makes sense.
This is going to be the first time North Adams has seen someone throwing at an arm angle like this season with 2 right-handed hitters to start the inning. It's going to be interesting to see if North Adams can make the adjustment and figure it out.
Andrew Lepine will throw a first pitch strike. And I don't think anybody is swinging at the first pitch. That one at 69 miles an hour. So definitely a speed adjustment. Second strike and getting some laughs from the Keene dugout. And now Henshin has to adjust. It's such a unique arm slot as a hitter.
And especially from the right side, it looks like it's coming from behind your back.
Pitch runs high, almost nabs the first baseman Henshin, but he gets out of the way for ball 1. Pine comes set again with the hands extended outside of the hips. Leaves that one outside. 5-1 game, offensive explosion in the bottom of the 6th, and then a little bit of an insurance run from Lipsy on that RBI single. Swinging a chopper that gets down in between center and right field. As Lipsy picks it up, tosses it back in. A leadoff single here in the top of the 8th for the SteepleCats.
An unorthodox pitch to hit there for Henshin, but it's one he saw that he liked it, did the right thing with it, and this is huge for North Adams. You're still not out of this game. It's 4 runs. You have 6 outs to work with, but as we saw, Lepine, he gave up 2 earned runs in his last outing. You can get to him.
Fresh count is nabbed outside. The batter, Quinn Ahern, the catcher. We're in the top of the 8th. 5-1 ball game. Second consecutive pitches outside.
Ahern's made contact today, but hasn't been able to find the outfield grass. There's 2 ground outs on the day.
2-0. Submariner leaves it outside again. Almost touches 80 on that one. Now a 3-0 pitch. Has to throw something over. Best case scenario would be soft contact, but yeah, he's definitely taken here. And there's a strike.
See if he gets the take sign again, but I think he's going to be swinging on this one if it's in the zone.
I'm with him. 3 balls, 1 strike. And it's low half of the zone, call a strike.
And that's one where you can't really tell if it's in the zone.
Exactly.
You take a look back at the umpire, maybe. And that's where you take.
Especially from that arm slot and the speed it comes in, a breaking ball, off-speed pitch from Lepine. Now a full count. Swinging a high fly ball that goes out of play on the left side. And what a catch. Wow, the bullpen catcher for the North Adams SteepleCats made a barehanded grab over there on that fly ball. That was unbelievable. Huh.
See if we can get him promoted to a player on the roster and stick him in the outfield.
Well, I assume it is one of the catchers on the North Adams roster. I couldn't get a number. TJ Schuyler's going to come out to talk to Andrew Lepine. about some strategy or about nothing.
Sometimes you can't just communicate things with hand signals.
Well, that, and also sometimes you just want to go out there and maybe throw off the rhythm of the batter at the plate of Hearn. 3-2. And a payoff pitch up coming from Andrew Lapine. 3-2. Swinging a chopper, went off his foot and foul and out of play. Ouch. Looks like he's all right.
Never fun when that happens, but Hearn, he's a catcher, he's a tough guy.
Yep.
No stranger to being hit by some baseballs, as he'll be checked on by the umpire, but he looks good to go.
Played 20-25 at Penn. 255 in his spring and summer. Here's 3-2. Another payoff up coming from Lapine. Swinging a drive right field. Beat on it is Lipsy. Oh my goodness, he made that catch. What a play from Marshall Lipsy. What did we just watch?
We watched him, he overran it at first, but the adjustment he made was absolutely unbelievable, defying gravity to go up and grab that ball.
Let's have a look at this again. A really hard hit ball the other way. Wow, what a play from Marshall Lipsy. I say that's SportsCenter worthy. I don't know about you, but that's up there. What a play to save an out. Unbelievable.
The SportsCenter top 10 tonight will be 9 Shea Gilgeous-Alexander baskets.
Okay, let's slow down there a little bit.
Lipsy.
I'll give you the concession there. Number one play, that has the, you know, did you see the A's center fielder catch?
Unbelievable.
Unreal, that's one of the best I've ever seen.
You know, that center field wall at Angel Stadium has seen a handful of magical catches.
Well, yes, this is
in
true.
its lifetime, especially with the great Mike Trout being the resident
right.
center fielder there for 12 years.
Swinging a high fly ball after it on the run, and making the catch is Michael O'Brien.
Surprised not to see a tag up there from Pension. Went pretty far into foul territory on the third base side. Pension, I think, could have made it if he would have been tagged.
Not sure if he had the beat on it, and that's one that you almost feel like you think it's going to be foul. But the speed of O'Brien, this guy who legged out a triple today, as a single and a triple, that 3 RBI triple that changed the story of this game completely. In the bottom of the 6th, as early on it. Hello, Fitzpatrick. He's ready to make that play. Couple of shuffles.
It's like that one when Carmelo Anthony got the ball in the stands.
Oh, yeah.
Pump fake the shot.
Oh, what a play. We'll be talking about that one later. That's too good. Fitzy, always a good sport. Liner, O'Brien, running catch again. And the Keene SwampBats outfield comes up big with a couple of great plays and a scoreless inning. We head to the bottom of the 8th. And it's a 5-1 ball game here in New Hampshire. This is the New England League from Alumni Field.
Heroes drills it to right field, and it is gone!
There's a look at Gabe Pitts, the batter who's due up for the SwampBats. They lead 5-1 against the North Adams SteepleCats, and we have had a treat. Every game this year thus far at Alumni Field, of which there have been 4, has been a treat, and this is really no different. The new pitcher for the SteepleCats is Owen Crow, the 6'2", 190-pound left-hander, rising sophomore out of Mount St. Mary's from Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, the Southpaw had a 7.5 ERA in 10 appearances this past season at Mount St. Mary's. Started 6 games, so a little bit of a different role for him. Pitching in the 8th inning here tonight.
Rising redshirt sophomore. Final line on Morris's day, 1 2/3 inning pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned, 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. So after not a bad start from Ruggiero pitching, the SwampBats started to figure him out.
Number 41, Gabe Pitts.
Sometimes it just takes a little bit to get going. Always a feel-out process early in games in baseball.
For sure.
And sometimes you just need to see one, and then it opens the floodgates.
So the 6'2" lefty, which is over and now delivers. Hits a slow chopper.
I thought that went off his foot.
I think it did, yeah, they called it foul. He started to run, but it had just weird spin, and it definitely did. Hard-throwing left-hander, 90-91 area. An 0-1 count to Pitts, who has drawn 2 walks and popped out to the third baseman, Henshin, earlier in the game. 0-1 to Pitts, righty-lefty matchup. There's a strike, an emphatic one at that.
Firm top of the glove there from a Hearn, catching that fastball behind home plate.
8th inning, 0-2 count. Pitts says he went around. From up here, it didn't look like it, but I don't know if Pitts agrees with it, but it's a strikeout. The call on the field. He goes down swinging on the tag, applied by the catcher, Ahern. That'll bring up the earlier hero of the game in Michael O'Brien, who had that bases clearing 3 RBI triple in the 6th. And dribbled down the third baseline, and Coach McKenna makes a good play.
Now, interesting to note here, he hit that ball down the line, the triple that was 3 runs to go ahead, but no adjustment from the SteepleCats defensively.
Yeah.
They're giving him as much space as they did down that right field pull side line as they did on the triple.
See if he exploits it. 0-1 against the lefty. Runs inside, almost got him. Even at 1. One. Swing and a drive, deep right field. O'Brien, 4 RBIs on the day. A no-doubt solo shot from Michael O'Brien puts the Bats up by 5 in the bottom of the 8th.
That's the danger of bringing the velocity. If someone's ready for it and you put it in a spot where they can hit it, they can send it a long way using your momentum against you.
93 off the bat and 354 feet. What a journey for that baseball, and the Keene dugout is hyped up about it. 1 out here in the 8th, and that one, everybody knew it as soon as it left the bat. Crow turned around in disbelief. A clobbered home run to right field. No doubt it even reached the roof of the barn out there in right.
Beautiful sound off that. That's baseball ASMR.
Perfect, anybody? Any MLB The Show enjoyers? That's a, I think that would qualify as a perfect home run.
Absolutely. No doubt about it. 2
good response pitches from Crow to put the DH Jack Herring in an 0-2 hole. So he will take one at the eyes for ball 1. You big MLB The Show guy?
I am a big MLB The Show guy. Love me some Diamond.
Ranked seasons, or are you a Battle Royale guy?
Ranked seasons.
Okay.
I prefer the full 9-inning games.
Me too. My first year playing it. It's fun.
Big 21 guy. It's the one that got me into it when it came over to Xbox.
Okay, we're the same.
But I took a break.
Right, I didn't play Diamond Dynasty until this year.
Interesting.
Didn't get into it.
Okay.
I was a franchise guy, but my friends didn't want me to do it. It's been the game I've played most since it came out, so I had a lot of fun. The 2-2 run inside and bounces at the feet of Herring. Full count with one away. And O'Brien, just unreal performance from him. 4 RBIs. And in the unlikely event that he gets again, a double gives him the cycle, which is a little unique. As there's a swing and a miss in strike 3. SteepleCats will go around the horn as Herring strikes out for the first time today.
O'Brien bringing this Keene crowd joy and happiness on a Wednesday night. Everyone oohing and awing when that ball hit his bat.
It's crushed. It's Dylan Cup, shortstop, who coming into this game is still at 2 RBIs. Walked in the first, had a single, and was caught stealing in the third. Flew out to center in the 5th, and then singled and scored in the 7th. So he takes ball 1, that's inside.
Little bit of everything from him today.
Yep.
With some excellent defense to
That's
go
what you
along
get,
with it.
exactly. He's a very well-rounded player. Has all the tools. The potential is absolutely there as he looks at ball 2.
Any manager's best friend.
Absolutely. More ways you can find a hole or a spot for your guys in a lineup, the better if you're a manager. Righty-lefty matchup. Low and inside again, ball 3. The inning not just over yet, and imagine that Cup has the takes on here. No reason to force anything and end the inning prematurely. Rio inside, almost hit him on the jersey, but he'll take his free pass to first nonetheless. Nobody warming up in the SteepleCats bullpen. And my binoculars over there to have a look at SwampBats pen, and looks to me like Todd Knibbie is warming up over there. See if he gets in the game in the top of the 9th. It's Chandler Tupou, the batter, with a runner on first in Dylan Cup.
And if you're Mike Gladdy, you're feeling no need to put anyone else in there today as you head on the road to Upper Valley tomorrow to play the Nighthawks.
SwampBats will have their first road game since the season opener. They were supposed to play on the road last Friday at Valley in Holyoke, Massachusetts, but that game got rained out. They'll be heading up to Sanford to take on the Mainers for the first time this year, a team that they struggled against mightily last year. They went 1-5 against the Mainers, and then were swept in the first round of the postseason. So, revenge game upcoming. There's ball 3 to Tupou.
The atmosphere for that game I can expect to be buzzing, popping, electric.
Yeah.
Big matchup in the NECBL.
I can't say I've ever been to Maine myself. It was a 3-0 to Tupou. Takes outside ball 4. Another walk.
I was really excited to get to go to Maine last week. I was expecting to have a doubleheader up there, but Mother Nature had other plans.
Yes.
But luckily that game got rescheduled for sometime in July, so I'll get my chance to make my way out there.
That's almost good. A mound meeting here. Just a little recap of today's game. And North Adams looked like they had all that momentum. That Gabe Natividad home run in the second, that solo shot with no outs. But the response from Pavia was the most impressive thing, I think, about the SwampBats, aside from O'Brien's performance today. He responded by striking out the side and keeping it at a 1-run game. Oftentimes, pitchers can fall into a spiral.
And I think mentally, as a pitcher, the home run that he gave up to Natividad, it didn't look like anything like the home run O'Brien just hit. It was a 50-50 ball that just barely scraped the fence when he was already cruising. So mentally, he was just able to say, hey, you know what? Good for you. You can have that one. I'm going to keep doing my thing. And he continued to do his thing, mowing down SteepleCats hitters left and right just long enough to get it over to the Keene offense, which came to life back in that big 6th inning.
Getting closer to, we're about at the 2-hour and 20-minute mark. It's not even 9 p.m. yet. This game has moved along pretty efficiently. There's a ball low to Romano, who's hitting righty. Grounder through the gap on the left side. They'll send Cup. And no throw from left field from Robinson. The Bats played another. And now it's 7-1. As Cup comes in to score from second on the RBI single from Nick Romano.
Tough break for North Adams there. That ball wasn't hit too hard, but it was hit in the right place. Great base running instincts by Cup. Got a good jump on that and was able to scamper home.
An offensive explosion in the last three innings for the SwampBats. Scored 4 in the bottom of the 6th, 1 in the bottom of the 7th, and now 2 here in the bottom of the 8th. Putting themselves in a good position. And it's a hit parade too. They've got 10 on the day, compared to North Adams' 3. First pitch swinging for Lipsy, who has 2 of the RBIs today for Keene.
It was looking like we were going to name Lipsy our player of the game earlier in this one.
I was ready to do it, along with Pavia.
Hard to argue against Michael O'Brien's night.
Absolutely. That's why wins and losses are kind of a flawed stat, because Pavia won't get the win. But he was
very deserving.
Yes. One at the bill of the helmet. 2-1. You could say he put his team in a position to win the game, which is absolutely true. The SteepleCats on the other side of this frame with 2 away. Late on a fastball, Lipsy swings and misses. At 89. And, well, the SteepleCats with...
Just had to hit a quick Google search to see if Pavia earned a quality start tonight.
Technically, no, right? Because 6 innings. There's a swing and a miss and a clean catch. It won't be a quality start by the books for Pavia, but I would call
anyone who watched the game
had some quality. All right, we'll take it to the top of the 9th after we come back. Due up in the last 3 outs, 2-3-4, Grease Smith, Overholt, and Natividad to wrap it up for the North Adams SteepleCats when we come back.
pitching for the SwampBats from Florida Atlantic University in Barry, Florida.
Well, there's the look at the story of the game. The early jump out to the lead, a 1-0 lead for the SteepleCats, but little did they know that's the only run they would score up to this point. As we head into the bottom of the ninth, Todd Keene takes the mound for the SwampBats, the 6'8", hard-throwing right-hander, looking to end this one in a clinical fashion. Now he works from the stretch, and he can put it out there on the bump. Keene from Florida Atlantic, 6'6", I should say. He might say he's 6'8", but out on the mound, as you're looking as a batter, he looks like he's 6'8".
We'll go in the middle and say it's 6'7".
6'6" is the official listing. Keene is not short on height in pitchers. And here we go. It'll be Eli Grease-Smith to lead off the top of the ninth from the last 3 outs. And the last 3 chances for the SteepleCats here on an amazing Wednesday night, weather-wise. Didn't really ask for much better. A comfortable temperature, a fun game, a fun atmosphere here on Reading with Ribby night. And the fans that have stayed are most likely going to get rewarded with a fun time. As mound visit already.
Do they not know I have an NBA Finals game to go watch?
Well, I mean, maybe they heard you. It's possible.
Messing with me here. But if you're North Adams, you just want to put together some quality at-bats here. Give yourself to feel something good about before going to Upper Valley tomorrow, continuing the road trip. Need a bounce-back game tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Still waiting for the bats to really click in this lineup. It's early on in the season. It's not uncommon for the offense to struggle as you get things going, especially when you gather a bunch of guys from all over the country.
There's still so much time left in the year. So a fresh count and a fresh inning for Todd Knibbe, who fires in his first fastball at 94 miles an hour.
Coming into Alumni Field, no easy task for North Adams on their first road trip of the game, proving to be probably the toughest place to play early on in this NECBL season.
Knibbe last pitched and got the win against North Shore on the 5th of June. Pitched 2/3 of an inning, allowed a hit, struck out 2, and faced 3 batters, so pretty efficient, and he earned himself a win. 1-1 to the North Adams hitter, Grease Smith, the center fielder. That was the inside half. Hardest throwing pitcher we've had today on the mound, as it usually is, a closer reliever type of guy.
You know, one thing I love about Grease Smith, he doesn't wear batting gloves. It gives him a very gritty feel.
Oh, yeah.
I just love it about him.
2-1. Swinging a chopper back up the middle. Nice play by Reese, and he fires it over to first for out number 1 here on the top of the 9th.
And he proved my gritty feel right there as he absolutely busted it out of the box there, giving it a full sprint down 6 in the top half of the 9th inning, trying to beat that out, get himself a single, get something going.
94-mile-an-hour pitch, induce some solid contact, but straight to a moving Ripken Reese, who's a great utility player. Plays a little bit of catcher, plays a little bit of everywhere, to be honest. He's a do-it-all guy for Sean McKenna. That's why they brought him back. First pitch to Overholt, who's 0 for 1 and popped out to Ripken Reese his last time up in the 6th inning. With a win, Keene would move to 5-1, the best record in the NECBL. There's a called strike, strike 1.
And on the flip side of that, North Adams, assuming Keene is able to record 2 more outs here, they will move to 1-3. So a tough start to the season, but there have been things to get excited about with this team.
For sure. And Knibbe set on the mound, kicks and deals. A high leg kick, it's high and outside at 94. Fun day at the ballpark for everybody who's come out to support the SwampBats here in Keene, New Hampshire. It's a league best record right now for the SwampBats. 2-1 from Knibbe. Foul tip back, ran it up at 95 that time. We've seen him touch 96 as well.
The Upper Valley Nighthawks, opponent of North Adams tomorrow, a team that hanging around at the top of the standings with North Adams. So, you know, there might be some, hey, go get them tomorrow after these 2 teams exchange handshakes after this one ends.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back at 94, and there's only 1 out left to get for the Bats, as that's Knibbe's first strikeout of the day. The SwampBats will face Upper Valley here at Alumni Field on Friday, then they'll have a day off on Saturday and head to Montpelier to take on the Mountaineers of Vermont on Sunday.
Gabe Natividade coming up to the bat. He got things started in a big way back in the 2nd inning with his solo shot, the first home run of the season for North Adams. An exciting moment. Takes one up high to start the at-bat.
1-0, and Ryder, don't go anywhere after this game. We'll send it to a short break, but then have our out-of-town score update when we come back. 1-0. We'll pass him at 95. Especially when you have the velocity and the height that Knibbe has, you're able to get down the mound, and it almost feels like as a batter, your pitcher's just handing the ball to the catcher, and there's nothing you can do about it. Ball and a strike 2 away. the 1-1. High, taken for a ball. Keene exclusively really using fastballs. No need to really go to anything else when this fastball is that efficient. Kind of makes it easier for Skylar as well. Throw down an index or a pinky finger and away you go. The 2-1 from Keene. Swinging a foul tip back. And now the SteepleCats are down to their very last strike. It's 2-2 with 2 away in the bottom, or the top of the ninth, I should say. And the claps begin as they do on the last strike of the game here at Alumni Field. Keene comes set for the 2-2. And here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Rather
it's
swing
foul tip.
and a foul tip that mashed the home plate umpire, Alan Liberdoni. Looks like he's okay. That one, definitely a foul tip. Oof, that's why he wears the mask. That would have hurt. Barely got some wood on it, did Nativide. And he'll step back in. The claps start up again.
And if you're Nativide after that, you're not taking any pitch outside.
You have to get the bat off the shoulder. The 2-2 from Keene. Swing and a miss, and the SwampBats dominate in the late stages of this one to take it 7-1. An all-around good performance from the SwampBats off of a good start from Pavia, where he struck out 9 SteepleCat batters. Barquero pitched well, Lepine pitched well, and then Keene comes in and picks up the remains. A good win for the SwampBats. They take them 7-1. And North Adams, they fall to 1-3.
Yeah, SteepleCats, they made Keene work for this one here tonight. Final score may not indicate that, but a good performance, especially from Johnny Ruggiero Jr. 5 scoreless innings of starting pitching work.
All right, we'll be back after a short break. Don't go anywhere. Keene SwampBats, they win this one 7-1. Out-of-town scores coming up after this short break here from Alumni Field. Well, the SwampBats wrap this one up, a 7-1 victory, pretty commanding after that second inning home run. For an update on the out-of-town scores around the New England League, we send it down to Ryan Fitzpatrick.
All right, starting off in the North Shore, the Navigators defeated the Sanford Mainers 6-3. Heading up to Vermont, the Vermont Mountaineers lead the Upper Valley Nighthawks 4-3 in the bottom of the 8th. Over in the top of the 8th in Newport, the Newport Gulls leading the Ocean State Waves 7-5. In the bottom of the 7th in Valley Blue Sox, leading the Mystic Sooners 14-2. That is your out-of-town scorebook.
Well, really, the story of the game was just those last 4 innings, an offensive explosion, last 3 innings, I should say, offensive explosion, headed up by that bases-clearing 3 RBI triple from Michael O'Brien in the bottom of the 6th. Luke, a fun one for the SwampBats. They've got the bats going at home for the first time this year.
Yeah, and O'Brien, it wasn't just the bases-clearing triple, put a little cherry on top with a mammoth blast in the top of the 8th inning to really just send this one in the way of the Keene SwampBats. But Nick Pavia, the other story in this one, an excellent starting outing. 9 strikeouts on the mound tonight. He truly was unhittable.
His final score, 7-1 in favor of the Keene SwampBats. Keene scores 7 runs on 10 hits. They commit no errors. North Adams, 1 run on 3 hits. And they committed 1 error. Well, that's all we've got. As Keene moves to 5-1, they've won their last 5. They stay undefeated at home, and they're the top team in the New England League. North Adams, they drop to 1-3. And their first road game is a loss. They'll have Upper Valley tomorrow. Keene goes to Sanford to play the Mainers for the first time this year tomorrow. So that'll wrap it up here from Alumni Field. For everybody on our broadcast crew and in the Keene SwampBats organization, for my broadcast partner Luke Carter, our camera operator Ryan Goodwin, our sideline reporter Ryan Fitzpatrick, and our wizard of a producer Mike Kelleher, I'm Andrew Hillsman saying so long and good night from Alumni Field. Keene wins 7-1.